she got the gavel.
I want to call the Finance Committee meeting to order for Thursday, April 30th. Can you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please note that this meeting is in person and we are being recorded. Gary?
So, thank you, Madam Chair, on to the members of the committee. So tonight, we have the FY '27 warrant article review. That's been circulated to the chair. We kind of did a rough overview last meeting. So this is kind of almost finalized. There's only a couple of more warrant articles that we have to wait for council to review. So if you would like,
Do you want to display the warrant, or do you want me to?
yeah, you have the latest, if you'd like to.
I do.
I can do it if you like.
Might not want to mess with the,
Yeah, you
no.
know, the only thing, Ginny, is the one we talked about with the waterways number. You don't have the
Is that
updated one.
version 5?
Right,
No,
but we
'cause-
made a correction after that.
Okay.
I noticed a typo in Article 4. I sent an email off to you guys.
Yeah, Janina, let us know.
Critiquing our work?
Yes, well, somebody has to,
All right.
I
right?
was just going to say somebody's got to.
Bill gives it a close eye.
Yeah,
It's good. Can never have enough eyes on
on
it.
occasion.
Only one? Only one?
Only one eye.
That's all I can spare.
30 articles,
That's the
one
only one
typo,
I can
wow.
dedicate.
All right.
Why?
All righty.
Very weird.
What, it just came in?
Yeah.
Let's just dive on in. Is that big enough everybody can see it? I can make it larger if you'd like.
Make it larger.
Larger?
So, Madam Chair, is someone gonna be writing the majority and minority opinion? Is that gonna be up tonight?
Ideally. Can you take notes on that, Carrie? Do you mind?
No, I don't mind. Let me pull it up. Do we have a template, or are we just taking
Not
notes?
at the moment, just to,
Just
what
taking
I
out
would
that
do,
means?
if we're gonna vote, I
So,
would,
when the committee votes, if it's not majority approving it, the committee typically writes a majority opinion and the minority
Yeah.
opinion.
Right.
Just so that the residents know why someone voted, why the majority voted yes, and then maybe if in fact some people voted no, why they voted no.
And so we're voting on each and every article within the warrant.
Yes.
Thank you
right.
very much.
Not all of them, there's a couple that we're still waiting on.
Yeah,
Thank you very
you will be in a position to vote on pretty much everything tonight, except for a couple of the general bylaw that I'm just waiting council to finish their review, but everything else is,
Yep.
it's not gonna change.
yeah.
And when we get to the petition articles, we'll talk about how, what the status of those are.
Okay. I would just keep track of the votes per article,
Okay,
because there's 6 of us here now, so
Okay.
when we vote, keep track of
Yeah.
how we voted, basically, for what article, because, you know, we're not going to be able to do all the rationales tonight
Yeah,
as
right,
well.
yep.
So what we'll do is, I would suggest that after we vote during the week, get the template set up for the rationales, so next week, because a lot of them will be pretty straightforward, I think. It won't be a big majority-minority discussion on them.
I can start taking notes on the
Yeah,
actual warrant, on my copy of it, and then we
Right,
can,
it's really the vote
Cut
that
and
we
paste
have to
down
track
to-
tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then next week, we can go through the rationales and see what needs to be tweaked, or if we had something that we have to do a
Okay.
different opinion on. Anyway, Article 1. See if the town will vote to appropriate from fiscal year 2027 Community Preservation Fund annual revenues in the amount of $35,000 for administrative expenses as referenced in the Community Preservation fiscal year 2027 budget. Somebody want to make a motion to,
Motion to recommend,
I will second it.
just a comment, Madam Chair, in order to expedite tonight's meeting, get along on the agenda. I don't think it's necessary that we have to read the entire article. I think we could just go by title.
I agree, actually. That
no,
was a
summary.
short one, so I.
Yeah, okay.
No, I.
So we don't,
Yeah,
and we've all seen it, so
Yeah.
I'd rather just,
correct.
Sounds good.
I had
vote
no
on the-
intention of reading the
Okay.
ones that are 75 amounts of money.
The tree bylaw, yeah.
Yeah, there you go, the tree bylaw, no, thank you.
Page after
Anyway,
page after
discussion, Gary, anything that we need to, No detail on this?
No, I would only comment that the CPC, when Buddy came in on these articles, I think they did a great job, as we mentioned last week, and brought all of the constituents in that are pretty much behind all these articles, so I think these are pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
Any questions?
no, that one, no.
Are we ready to vote? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
So 600.
0.
Motion to recommend Article 2, Community Preservation Committee, Community Housing Reserve.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Any questions? Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. You my reader, John?
Motion to recommend Article 3, CPC DCTV renovations Phase 3.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Discussion and/or questions? Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. 600.
Motion to recommend Article 4, CPC Duval Field.
This is when I found the typo and we kind of fixed it.
You got me. It's all set.
Do we have a second?
Second,
Thank you.
question?
Yes.
Thank you. Is this the Russell Mills where the historic house?
No,
No, I'm sorry. Thank you.
That's no.
I don't know what, I don't know what,
see, that was her question was, is it the library?
No, it wasn't.
No. The question was about the historic house, because that was a controversy at the
Maybe I
meeting.
could-
That's what she's bringing up.
Maybe I could qualify my question.
Would you?
There was
Yes.
a public hearing while I was away with respect to the house at Russell Mills, if I have that location correctly.
yep.
Could you update me on that, please, Cody?
Sure, the Russell's Mills Historic District Commission had a meeting and voted to deny the certificate to demolish the house. However, I'll note they made that decision without any findings of fact, and so we anticipate the applicant to appeal. And with that, I mean, the appeal process will go forward. I spoke with Buzzards Bay Coalition and Mr. Baker Smith, Chair of the CPC, and the Buzzards Bay Coalition would like for this to stay on the warrant, and if for some reason they do not win their appeal and the house has to remain, then, the money can always not be utilized at that point. But it's good to still have it.
Thank you, Cody.
Thank you for bringing that up,
Thank
Deirdre,
you.
because I had that conversation with somebody and was thinking the
Well,
same thing.
there's no condition from the CPC that says the house has to be torn down.
Correct, yep, correct. It's just,
So if they lose their appeal, they can keep the house,
they could, right, it'd be,
do away with it being a residence.
yep, so it would be
And turn it
their
into a
decision
shed.
essentially at that point, exactly.
Yep.
Right, it's not a condition of CPC.
And the house is not historic.
Correct.
It was built in 1972, but the way the Russell's Mills Historic District is written, it applies to every structure regardless of its age, which is a shame, but anyway, that's the way it's written.
Thank you.
Any more questions or discussion? Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? 600.
Motion to recommend Article 5 CPC Crapo Field Lighting Project.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? Discussion? Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
600.
Any opposed?
So, Bill, when you're talking about typos, you're talking about the commas after some of
You
those?
know, what I'm talking about, I had on Article 4, it said 575, comma, 00.
Yeah, it was fixed.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them, like on the 6th, there's one like that too, there's a comma after 300.
Yeah, that's the one I was citing, Brian, was Article 4.
Okay.
Yeah, 6, there's a comma, should be just no comma.
Did you read that? I lost track. We're at 6, right?
We're at 6.
Article, motion to recommend Article 6, CPC, the Dartmouth Cultural Center.
Do we have a second?
I'll second. Oh, there you go. Deidre.
Discussion or questions?
Oh, the comma, we would keep the comma there, because that's kind of splitting the sentence.
Oh, okay, I was getting
Yeah.
confused, I thought that was after the,
There was more zeros after
was
that.
zero.
Maybe a semicolon, maybe more appropriate, I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Nobody else was confused.
I'm
except
sorry, are
me.
we now questioning the commas?
No, I withdraw my
Withdraw.
Grammar,
my
please.
comment.
Any questions on this or discussion?
Well, if I may,
Yes.
I had a question on this. I should have asked it when Buddy was here, but we never, actually, Gary helped me follow up on this. Was the total amount of the project? It wasn't listed as it, we never got the total amount of the project. We just got what they were asking from the town. And Gary, what was the total on that, Gary, you remember? 'Cause I don't have it in
On the
front of me.
total project?
Yeah, the total,
For the renovation?
yeah, what was the total?
Oh, boy, that's over $1 million.
But that's not all coming from us, correct?
No, it's not.
I'm
But
just
my-
curious,
My
wait.
question I had, it also coming from the bank, they went to the bank, and I never, I should have asked the Granite question, how much they got for funding from the bank, and if there was any reservation by the bank, that they didn't get the full amount that they wanted. Just trying to piece together the finances here.
There's a nice flyer that they had at the opening night of the Cultural Center that on the front has the design and on the back it lists that. I didn't have it
Lists
with me,
what?
but it lists the renovation project, it
Yeah.
lists the highlights, and it lists the financing of it as well.
Did it say, did it give them the financing for what the bank contributed?
I believe so, but what I'll do is get that at home and I will scan it to you. I'm not sure if it's total, but they did have something available to
I
that.
wasn't aware of that.
I just went to the opening at night, and I had it.
All right,
We can confirm, too, because there's also been prior phases
Yes.
that CPC's funded.
Yeah.
I believe it's around 10% that they're contributing through other sources, and the primary source is CPC, but we'll confirm and get it to you for next meeting.
all right.
I don't remember from the CPC meeting, and maybe one of you did, they didn't talk about that, as far as what other funding they'd received, did they?
They,
know if they talk about
they had
banking.
mentioned it, Janine, but they didn't give numbers
They
specific.
didn't give numbers. Well, I'm sure we can get them, and always can be asked from the
Yeah,
floor.
no, it was my fault. I should have asked the question while they were here.
Any more questions or discussions on Article 6?
Now we have 7, right?
Are we ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to abstain.
Okay.
Okay.
I should abstain, I didn't hear the conversation.
You just-
Motion to
you
recommend Article 7, CPC Agricultural Preservation Fund.
Second?
Any questions or discussion?
I do have a question on this, too.
Yes.
Okay? It's got to do with the, let me read it, I'll read the whole thing, if I may. To see the town would appropriate 1.5 million for the Community Preservation Unrestricted Reserve to the Dartmouth Agriculture Commission to be held in the town's Agricultural Preservation Fund under the Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 40, Section 8L, and utilized solely for the acquisition of the agricultural preservation restrictions. When they say acquisition, who are we acquiring this from? And that's why I'm confused.
Private parties, they're looking to purchase farmland. They're looking to purchase farmland.
Yeah,
So either the land itself.
Private individuals, or I don't think the state or the federal government selling much farmland.
but who owns the farmland?
These are for potential future.
Private
purchases.
individuals. It's not for a specific project. It's for a fund to have if something comes up.
Oh, I see.
And they
So,
find it reasonable and it meets
All right.
their
So it's
criteria.
like a reserve
It
fund.
is,
they're gonna-
it's a fund
Well, that's,
to,
so, right, that would be nice if it worded that way, because it sounded to me like they were gonna acquire it right away from somebody. I wouldn't know who it
No.
was.
It's their goal to protect farmland if it's going to go to
Right.
market.
money could sit there for 10 years before they find.
Oh, I
something, or it
understand
could be
that
gone
now,
in 2
John.
years.
It's the way it was
Yeah.
worded, it wasn't worded in
Right.
that vein.
Yeah,
So
that's
Thank
it.
you for the clarification.
Any more questions? Are we ready to vote? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? my reader.
Motion to, okay. I don't want to be the, I don't want to overshadow anybody else. if they-
We were in a good rhythm there. Keep it
Okay,
going, keep it
I'll
going.
keep it going.
You can
I
read away.
Make a motion to recommend Article 8, appropriation from the cemetery sale of lot fund.
Second.
Any questions or discussion?
No,
Ready to vote?
yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Do we all agree that John Souza should continue to read each article for us?
I will do that.
Keep it going.
Second that.
I second. All in favor? Aye.
I'll make a motion to recommend Article 9, establish FY '27 maximum spending budget for revolving funds.
Second.
Second. Any questions or discussion? Pretty much a housekeeping type thing that's on every spring warrant.
The only change is we did increase Parks and Rec, just because we've been, historically, was it 250? or
Yeah, 250 the revenue's up.
250. But this, again, it's revolving, so it doesn't cost anything, it's just how much you can spend of the money coming in.
All right, good. Questions, discussion? Ready to vote?
Yes.
All in favor of Article 9? Aye. Any opposed?
Motion to recommend Article 10, acceptance of capital planning committee report and funding of FY 2027 capital plan.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Questions or discussion? Sure you don't want to read each line, John?
I do not, but is there a reason why it's in red? Is that just,
Mine's in black.
Mine's in
Oh,
black,
okay.
too.
We had two different versions
Yeah,
sent to
one
us
one came out
today.
earlier, yeah.
I'm looking at the earlier
This
version.
is-
Yeah, that's the one from last week, John, I
This
think.
is draft
That's-
5.
The latest one came out, well, 12 feet or so.
Thank you. I had read in the newspaper that the legislature has earmarked $150,000 for the school bus, and I didn't know how the town might handle the funding for that while it's still on the capital list.
Great question.
Thank you.
So we recognize that, we anticipate, that was approved by the Senate, either, I think it was early this month or late March. We anticipate a final decision as it goes through committee later in May, so obviously the warrant will be finalized prior to then. What we did was, we had a CIPC meeting last week where we essentially approved a backup if it were to pass. So if the state funding passes for the bus, there'll be an amendment on the floor of town meeting to move that 150,000 into an additional 150,000 for HVAC projects at the school. They initially requested 600,000 for HVAC, so this would get them to 550, pretty close to what they had
Very
requested,
close.
so.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions or discussions on Article 10? Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to recommend Article 11, salaries and stipends of elected officials.
Okay.
Do we have a second?
Second.
I can give you-
Questions, comments, concerns?
Just the logic behind this was, we had done the compensation and classification study. We applied the same methodology that we're applying to everybody else with the town clerk. So we essentially took her FY '26 salary, took where she fell in the grade, the position fell in the grade and step, guaranteeing at least a 2% increase, and this is the step that it essentially fell in. So we thought it was important to have a methodology
Oh,
to
yeah.
it, rather than just throwing out, this percentage or that percentage.
Agreed. What is
so.
the percentage? I didn't calculate.
3.3%,
How much?
3.3.
Okay.
So that will put her in a different position of not having to, in the past, town meeting has had questions about why and where does, she's kind of been on her own out there.
Yeah, I think that's one of the, I had a conversation with Sarah, and obviously she can propose what she would like, but, and, having a methodology to it, we both felt was important, and she agreed, and I think that the goal would be to follow this going forward, so, we, as part of the compensation study, we are adopting one town-wide compensation plan, so it's not gonna be this union follows this union follows this, so
Right.
it'll be hopefully much more simple, going forward.
Right. Usually our past discussions centered on whether it was equivalent to other department
right,
heads'
exactly.
salary increases. That's, was really the concern every year, so.
Yeah, so it's exactly the same methodology.
Right.
Okay, good. Any other questions? Are we ready to vote? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No.
Motion to recommend Article 12. Are we doing the Schedule A yet?
Are we doing the Schedule A?
No, we're not doing the Schedule A today. We doing it tonight?
You could vote on the budget tonight. You had seen the Munis version of it a couple of times. We've made some, at the last meeting, I did send out the Schedule A to the committee. You received that, I think, last week.
Yes.
So we did talk about building in a little bit of a buffer for contract negotiations. We did that. So the number you see here, 113,389,515, is what we're recommending for town meeting. That also includes the 4.5% increase to the schools. And then you'll see a couple articles coming up that kind of gets them to the 5% that they were looking for. So this budget is encompassing of everything. Obviously, we're in the contract negotiations. Cody and I are working through that. So if there is anything above that going into the fall, we have the employee stabilization fund that we would use for that.
Okay. Motion to recommend Article 12, Schedule A, FY 2027, budget appropriation.
Second.
Do we have any questions or concerns? Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to recommend Article 13, funding sewer and septic system betterments.
Second.
Thank you.
This is another I say boilerplate, continually
Right.
asked for at the Springtown meeting.
So, any questions, concerns? Ready to vote?
Just a quick question. Why isn't the DPW co-sponsor of this? Is there a reason for, it's only the select board?
That's a good question. It's just the way it's always been done, yeah. And
It is a good-
it's a
it is a good
financial-
question.
It's a financial article, so Gary
Yeah.
typically comes from his office, so they don't really,
But it.
yeah, I mean, it does involve betterments, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I'm just curious. I mean,
No, it's a good question. We never question it because
Typically
frankly,
the-
it's always been that way.
The betterments get initiated through the select board, so that if I were to guess why it's been done that way, that's probably what it is, but it's a good question to look at for the future, yeah.
Anything else? Any other questions? Ready to vote? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
motion to recommend Article 14, funding solid waste enterprise fund.
Second.
Any questions, discussion?
The next few, the series are all the enterprise funds.
Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No.
Motion to recommend Article 15, funding water department enterprise fund.
Second.
Questions? Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Motion to recommend Article 16, funding sewer department enterprise fund.
Thank you. Any questions?
Boy, we're being really.
Ready to
efficient.
vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to recommend Article 17, funding Dartmouth Cable TV, DCTV enterprise fund.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? No. Ready to vote? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to recommend Article 18, funding waterways management enterprise fund.
Second.
Question why it's still highlighted.
Well, that's just about to ask that.
That's the one, we made the one change, so.
Oh, okay.
Let me just confirm if everything. Yep, this is fine, that's all accurate, so you can disregard the comment. We
And the
just
note
needed to
on the
confirm.
side.
Yeah, right.
We've
Yep.
done our math.
Yep, they're all set now.
Ready to vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion passes.
Motion to recommend Article 19, appropriation for use of collective bargaining stabilization fund.
Second.
Any questions? Ready to vote? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Motion to recommend Article 20, appropriation for use of full-day kindergarten stabilization fund.
Second.
Any questions? Ready to vote? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Motion to recommend Article 21, personnel bylaw amendment, position title and compensation changes.
Second.
Any questions? I have a couple questions about the positions, I guess,
Yeah,
because
sure.
we didn't see them before.
So these are all, there are no new positions here. This is essentially all of the Schedule A is your non-union, non-contracted positions within the town. So there's not very many. It primarily consists of the staff in my office, the public health nurse, some COA staff, the administrative assistant at DPW, and executive assistant to the police chief. So confidential positions primarily is what it's made up of. So this is just the reclass effective for those positions, what that was recommended and adopted by the select board. Schedule E are all of those part-time, seasonal positions, and that's the same there, as we took the reclass and implementing those, so.
Did some of these titles change?
Let's see, there are, executive assistant to the police chief is technically a new title. It used to be administrative assistant to the police chief. Substance use is the same.
They just look different, some of them, when I scanned them, that's all.
Communications manager used to be communications coordinator, so it's manager instead of coordinator. Executive assistant to the town administrator is now operations assistant to the town administrator. Those are the only changes, yeah.
Question, why aren't we, are they new positions on these? So why aren't we listing the old range? You know, I'm looking at this, it's okay, you know, there's a range, $26 to $34 an hour, but what was it before? Was it 24 to 32 before? Was it 8 to 12 before?
Yeah, sure, we can. I looked at previous warrants and it's never been done, so I just followed the same way that it's been done in the town. But if
I'm just curious, I don't know if that, or someone else would question that, saying, well,
yeah, we have the.
changes are we?
We have the information available and ready if there's a particular question, but if the committee feels it would be
So
beneficial.
financially, I'd be interested in, you know, we know it's only going in one direction, and that's up.
Yeah, of course,
So
yeah.
is it overall a 2% increase, a 12% increase? It'd just be.
Well,
I-
the ranges vary, right, because the position, this is based on the reclass, so it's all new range, but the methodology of application is the same as I had mentioned with the town clerk. We take their current compensation, we plug them in on the new range, and so even though the range itself you may see a 10 or 12% increase in the range, that doesn't mean the employee's getting, in no case actually is the employee getting a 10 or 12%
Understood,
increase.
right.
So every individual will be different, but the ranges generally are in that 10 to 12% range higher overall.
What
But-
might be helpful to do here is to say, maybe in our response, that this is a response based on the study that was done.
Compensation study.
Which is why it looks different, because it does look
No.
different. It's,
Yeah,
yeah. So that might explain why that's there from before. And maybe, like you said, I'm not sure you would have a range from before, because you actually had people being paid one amount, right? It wasn't.
Yeah, so the
still-
Schedule E positions were all, well, I shouldn't say all, a lot of them were one amount. So the range is kind of a good thing. It can.
And it was less, it was fewer people too, because it was
Oh,
usually
and
just the summer people.
Again,
not-
strictly from a financial perspective is, okay, we've changed it, we're putting in ranges, but still, what are we handing out for raises? Is it 2% or is it 20%? I don't know. None of us know that by looking at this.
Right.
Positions, not individuals.
Some of
What's-
these are
what's
people
which,
that
you know,
are year-round.
And we've done,
Right.
maybe not as thoughtful as this one, as thorough as this, we've done reclassifications in the past. So I, for one, would want to ask the question, well, if it's a 25% increase,
Yeah.
where did we fail in the past? You know, why was there such a deficit there? What did we do wrong at the last reclassification?
It's interesting.
What's changed?
Well, a lot of it's because, you know, we couldn't find people for a certain hourly rate, and you had to increase it to
Again,
attract
I'm just
people.
looking
No, I'm
for
just saying,
the
John, the
real
rationale.
abnormally. So I think we all can get that, you know, on average, we better go up X amount of percent. But if there's an
Exactly.
abnormally there where someone's going up 25,
Well,
40%,
that's-
it's like, where'd we go wrong here? We don't see
I
that.
think too
in
that
this.
some of, in previous years, the people in this section were not people that would be getting raises. They were people who were just hired for the summer, and it was a new crew coming in. But in this one, we're including people who are here year-round. So I can see why he's asking that question about.
That's why I asked about
raises.
new
Yep.
titles, because it's nowhere near the typical list that we see at this time.
Right.
But I think when we do the rationales, we have to think about a nice description of the compensation study, so people understand it a little bit more clearly. That we
Yeah.
have to get the right
And I always
wording.
think
Say,
if-
number one, it's not new positions, it's just
Right.
maybe some changes in title, but number two, that it's including some people that are normally on the payroll, and it is including
I'm
raises.
sure there's many people that have no idea there was a compensation study done,
Exactly, yeah, yeah.
so there needs to be a, whatever,
Built into the rationale.
Noted
Yeah.
that.
into the rationale.
Just
And we
need
do
to
that a
be-
lot in the rationales. We tend to take whatever they wrote in the warrant article, which can sometimes be almost foreign language,
Yeah.
and we have to
Yeah.
put it into
Quiet.
plain English, so people say, oh, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I can create a sheet for you, you know, for everyone to have at town meeting. And the only, I'm not trying to not be transparent. If I put it in the warrant, it's gonna add like 7 pages.
Well, we're not
asking-
implying that
But I
that's
know what you're
not
saying, yeah.
Prepared
transparent.
for the question.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
and
we're prepared,
Because if
absolutely.
one of us is asking this kind of question,
Oh, yeah.
you're probably gonna get the question from somebody in the audience also.
Yeah, we
So
have a full sheet
it's just-
of what the current, you know, ranges are and what the new ranges are.
I'd still like to see the information before town meeting, because I don't want to be up there looking like a fool. Wow, you people voted for a 60% increase in that. And that- What were you thinking, you know?
No, because that, I agree, it looks startling when you see the titles and you think, what's happening? But I understand, and I know you've probably already had this all approved, or it wouldn't be here by town council.
Right.
This wording
Oh,
is
yeah,
done,
yeah,
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 so the
yeah, the
wording is
wording's
done,
all
we're not
set, yeah.
changing the wording.
No.
We can offer up an explanation. Any more questions? Ready to vote? All in favor of Article 21?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Article,
22.
motion to recommend Article 22, General Bylaw Amendment, Chapter 134, Section 15.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions about the dog hearing officer? Are we ready to vote? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? And
Motion to recommend,
You can skip 23, we're still
I
waiting.
was gonna say, it's
Yeah,
all
We're still waiting
highlighted.
on council to
So we're gonna
get back
skip
to
that right
us.
now?
skip Article 23.
We're gonna skip 24.
skip
the tree
24.
plan.
Oh, is 24 is not,
That's
oh,
the
it
tree
hasn't been
plan?
reviewed by the, okay.
No, that's all.
24.
25 is in final format, which is the crypto ATM bylaw.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I gotta get
Wait,
past the
this
tree.
far, yeah.
Yeah, that's tree one.
Taking a while.
My eyes glaze over. Crypto.
I'm sorry, so Article 25 we can vote on?
You can, yeah. In essence, it bans the crypto ATMs within the town of Dartmouth. It gives any current locations, they have 60 days for them to be removed, $300 fine. It gives enforcement authority to police department, public health, and inspectional services. This comes from the police department recommendation. FBI has come out as well. These are 99.9% used for crime. You know, it's not people who are looking to buy cryptocurrency and invest in it, because people go through, you know, a trading brokerage. This is what's happening a lot is, this scam sometimes with elderly, you know, your grandson's in trouble, you need to go to this ATM and send me 5 Bitcoin and those are the things that are typically happening with these ATMs.
Crazy. You want to make
It's
a motion?
crazy.
Motion to recommend Article 25, establishment of cryptocurrency ATM bylaw.
Second.
Thank you. Any more questions? Are we ready to vote?
Yeah.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, another one. Okay, so I know the language isn't in here. Should we vote on this?
What's the site?
I mean, you know,
I know we had we
yeah,
had
you
a
know you have
presentation on
everything, I
it.
mean, so you should be able to make at least hopefully a decision at that point. The language is just the legal language for what the article actually is, but it's not changing from what. But if you wanted to wait for it to be inserted, you could, but
I'd
nothing's
rather
gonna
have
change
the
from what.
language before we
think we
vote
should.
on
I am
something
not comfortable
personally.
voting on anything that there's no
I think we
language
should have in
on.
front of us, just.
No.
Right, I mean, I know we
Absolutely
had
not.
a detailed presentation, but
Yep. no.
Yeah.
just in
But-
case.
I'd rather have it inserted. or
Yes, they
received.
voted on
should not vote
something
on
that
something
said
that's not
Brian to
there.
insert language. Next.
Motion to recommend Article 27, acceptance of general laws, Chapter 59, Section 5, Clause 22G, expanded veterans exemptions.
Second.
Thank you. Questions, discussions? I know this has something to do with accepting something that was done by state law. Is that correct, Cody?
So if we accept this, it's a state law. Essentially, right now, if you have a veteran whose property is in a trust, they're not eligible to get the veterans exemptions through real estate. This would allow it, even if it is in a trust, for them to still get it. Because a lot of older veterans, put their homes in a trust, that's a typical thing. And technically, right now, without this adopted, they are not eligible for that exemption.
And the exemption gives them, I'm sorry, I'm just reading it again. What does it give, what are they exempt from?
These are the current exemptions that we already have in place
Oh.
For
The
veterans
ones we voted
benefits.
on in the last year?
Yeah, we expanded them the last town meeting, I think in the fall. I don't have the exact numbers off my head, but
No, no,
it doesn't change the amounts.
Right, because I know there were amounts listed.
Yeah, it extends that to basically someone who lives in, primarily, we're seeing trusts.
And there's
Owned by trust.
excessive funds in that account, isn't there?
Our overlay account is very healthy, yeah, several $100,000.
Any other questions? Are we ready to vote? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So, hang on one second, just before we, so I know these three next coming are considered out of order, if that's the correct term I heard many times the other night.
So a little bit, they're each a little bit different in a sense that Article 28 isn't necessarily illegal. However, if it passes, it doesn't do anything because it lacks funding sources, it lacks the correct process of betterments. So town meeting could vote on it, but even if it passes, nothing happens. The way it's written isn't correct.
So it won't get withdrawn?
I mean, it may. We've
Or it would
let.
have to be withdrawn by the person who,
Yeah, the petitioner knows, the petitioner's counsel is aware, we've met with them, they know what's wrong with the article, and they know that it will not accomplish anything. And we've given them a process of how they can accomplish what they're looking for.
okay, Terry?
So this has come up before where somebody who may not know, although you mentioned they had an attorney. And I'm curious about how it seems like it sends a bad message for somebody to do this and then hear that it's not going to work. And I wonder if there's some way for people to get advice on this before they, or is it legal to give?
Yeah, we can't give legal advice.
I know you can't do that, but it would seem like there would be some way to help people who are trying to.
We let people know, I mean, if they don't take the feedback, we can't write it for them, but in this case,
What were they trying to accomplish?
They want to extend the sewer system on Allen Street, is what they want to do. But they don't want to have to pay for it, which is not legal. I mean,
And
you
usually
either-
it's paid for by the people who live.
So either
there.
betterments.
Yeah,
So
so
there's two
I see.
options. One is
I see.
betterments, which you need 2/3 of everyone who's affected in the neighborhood to essentially sign on to that. And then at that point, the select board would approve it. put it on the warrant, and we would have to identify a funding source.
Right.
There, I mean, you know how our retained earnings are in water and sewer, so.
So
we don't
somebody
even-
was just trying to get this taken care of.
In the
by
town pay for
meeting.
it completely,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which
Okay.
doesn't
Okay.
happen. And then the other one is you have every right to hire an engineer to design out, and then you can hire a licensed utility later in town to do the work
It's
yourself as a
interesting that they
private
hired
party.
an attorney to help them with it, that seems like,
And we advised the attorney all along of what needed to be done.
okay,
And
thank you.
I'm shocked, honestly, that the attorney didn't know better.
Or maybe they just thought it was worth a try.
Yeah.
So would we
I
take
guess,
no
but I mean,
action
approach
on this?
DPW.
What?
In the past, the committee is either voted yes, no, or I think in some instances voted to make no recommendation.
I would move to make no recommendation on Article 28.
Well, first of all, we have to put the motion on the floor, Deirdre. We haven't opened up
We
the
have
article
open
yet.
discussion, yet, really.
Go ahead, John.
Just make the motion.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I jumped the gun by
No,
asking the
that,
questions.
but we can't make a motion on it, is my point, but go ahead.
Yeah.
28, citizens petition Allen Street Sewer Extension, motion to not approve, not recommend, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll second that. Yeah.
So, it's not, well, we're voting on it now, I guess. So do we vote to not recommend or not, what was the other choice?
Take no action.
Take no action?
Make no recommendation, however you want to.
I'd like to make a recommendation that we take no action on Article 28. Needs a second?
I'll second that.
On the motion, why don't we just say, we presented facts. They're clear enough to me to say, we don't recommend.
Oh, no, I agree.
I don't see why we take no action. Let's be transparent, or,
Yeah, I
you
have-
know, not that
I
we're
have
trying
to
to hide
admit-
anything,
I
but
withdraw
let's
my
just come right
motion.
out, let's just come right out and say it.
I withdraw my motion and make a motion that we vote no on Article 28.
Do not recommend, motion to not
I
recommend.
mean, I agree, because that would open up, if it were even a legally written article, I'm sorry, the town cannot afford to put
Yeah, right.
That's
septic
why I was suggesting
everywhere.
no action, because it's an
No, it-
illegal article.
No,
I'm not going to vote
And
no.
that's true, but-
That's the only reason I suggested it in that capacity.
and-
No,
and
no, I
our-
understand what you said.
In our language at town meeting, we'd be addressing it by, we've been advised that
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
article doesn't meet the criteria.
Well, somebody's gonna ask, because they always do,
Someone's
and
gonna
I think we can.
Oh, no, because there'll be somebody else that
say
wants
that,
to
and
do
that,
it.
we are aware that there are other areas of town where people have had to pay for betterments, and that's how it's been done, because then they have skin in the game as well as the town, and we think that this should follow the same procedure, same practice.
We can
I'll
never
write that
afford
up
it.
for
I mean,
you.
you can get a petition for the, very north part of town, now we have to run miles of
But to
sewer.
Terry's point, the article's been written, they can still go ahead with a citizen petition and ask the town to pay for it. They just didn't do it properly by the
Correct.
funding source, so all we need to say is it didn't meet the criteria for an article on town meeting floor. Now, it could have met the criteria if they said, here's the funding source, and we still could have said, we do not recommend, because we, at that point, we say it should be paid by the
Right.
people
Fair is
taking
fair.
advantage of it. But anyway, we're,
I gotta ask a question, as far as this petition goes, do they have to get signatures before this gets?
Oh, yeah,
how
just
many-
10.
Well, how many, 10? That's all they needed, so that's just the neighborhood, basically.
Well, but no, it wasn't just the neighborhood.
Right, you
It
can go
was-
wherever
It
you
was
want.
primarily outside of the neighborhood.
So it's more than 10.
Oh, yeah, they got.
but 10 is the minimum,
Yeah, 10 you
isn't it?
need 10. If you get 10,
That was my question, how many they had?
off the top of my head, I'm not sure, but it
We've
was
seen that
certified by the
before,
town
where
clerk,
though
yeah.
somebody does a citizen's petition and they get people to sign off on it who aren't gonna be affected, but they're friends, so.
No, understood. Go ahead, Carrie.
Do we know the motive for this? Why?
Well,
There's a failing septic system that they don't want to have to
Yeah,
replace.
somebody wants to.
correct, and that's
you know,
very
so
expensive.
Such
I
a
understand.
bummer, huh?
Instead of digging up their septic tank and leaching.
I mean, I
fluid,
have a septic, I know what it entails, so that's a bummer, but.
It is, it is.
town's done this many times in the past,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
in recent history, but there were many of these in years past.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, especially probably before they did town sewage, I would think, right? Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, it's a hardship, there's no doubt, but
Yeah.
when you buy a house,
Sure,
that's what
but that's
happens.
part of it.
When I lived on Rockadundy Road, we had the same problem, we had a septic system, and you just have to, hey,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah.
Well, I look at it
Really
this,
why was no action on this? We're not going to say yay or no, no action, we're out of it. And the betterments in the capacity conversations that you observed today, this morning, that were so great at DPW kind of ties into this. So I kind of would be hands-off, but it's totally up to the committee, obviously.
Well, my preference is to vote to not recommend.
Oh, and I can recommend.
But, and I think,
Do you have
did
a
we agree
motion?
on that?
Yeah, there is a motion. on the
Not
floor.
recommended, because you can come all the way down to my end of town too if you want. I mean,
Or I want a refund on the betterment ones that I've had to pay.
right?
Anyway, are we ready to vote?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Voting to not recommend?
not
All in
recommend.
favor of not recommending?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so before we announce these, I just want a background because they seem identical.
They're a little bit different. So the 29 came in, and it's illegal. And the problems primarily with Article 29 are, we can't overstep Mass General Law. Mass General Law, Chapter 30B, requires that the chief procurement officer of the town is the one that issues RFPs and contracts. No committee is able to solicit RFPs. So that's the issue number one. Number two is it recommends that there be a membership, which is three, I think it says 3 members of the public. Where is it?
3 residents of the town.
3 residents. It doesn't identify a source of appointment.
And that's the difference between the two.
So that's the difference. They took out some of the RFP language, and they took out the, they are clear that the moderator in the second one is the appointing authority. I will note that Article 30 is still being reviewed by council, so I would recommend that you not do anything with Article 30 tonight, but Article 29 has been reviewed by council and deemed to be out of order. For those reasons, as I stated.
So,
Why is this?
We have
Laws.
to put a petition article on the
Yeah,
warrant.
you
We
have
have
to.
to.
We
And we have to put it
gotta-
exactly how
That's
it's written, yeah.
We've had them before where they're
That's right,
not
yeah, you're
written well.
and it can't be modified
You're
You
right.
have, you have to make a
By
motion
us.
before you
Right, go ahead, make a
deliberate.
motion for 29.
for 29? Motion that we approve,
Just to,
recommend
No,
Article
recommend.
29, Citizens Petition Former Police Station Reuse Committee.
do we have a second?
Second?
Any more questions before we vote?
Yes, so the language that we currently have before us is incorrect,
I mean, it's not legal, yeah.
not legal. So can can it be changed before town meeting, or someone can make a motion from the floor at town meeting to make it accurate?
It can't be changed before town meeting because it's the citizens petition, so everyone that signed it basically is saying that's the language that we agreed to. As far as an amendment, I mean, amendments on the floor of town meeting can always occur. I don't know what, because you can only amend to some extent, because it still has to be within the scope of the article. So that would be a question for council, to what extent they can amend it on the floor of town meeting. Like, if changing to adding an appointing authority and removing the language regarding 30B and RFPs is still within the original intent of the article.
So is it illegal because one of the reasons it's illegal is because of the way it's written?
Yeah, the way it's written.
That's the way it's written.
Yeah, the way it's written.
So I'm in favor of the
non-binding.
concept, and it's
Right, I would
unfortunate
say the same
that.
Yeah.
Article 30 is the concept with those changes made.
Right, but that one's still not correctly written.
No, I didn't say that. It's
Oh, I
still
thought
under
you said
review
it-
by legal.
Oh, it wasn't finished.
No, it's still under review by legal, but
Oh, okay.
it certainly, from my review, it addresses the concerns in Article 29.
Okay.
So I anticipate it should.
So I guess so if
Yeah,
they had
I'm
written
totally
it,
li-
if they had written it differently to conform, so that means that it has to it has to really show an understanding of the Massachusetts law that governs,
Yeah, so town meeting can't approve something that is illegal.
okay.
It's
So
out of
they're trying
order.
to take away, and this, as I understand it, they're taking away the authority of the town to put out an RFP and to appoint people to a committee. Is that
Okay.
correct?
Right.
So
And
that
that's
can't,
not
they
right.
can't, nobody
So
can
it's
write.
really, it's not really the way it's written, it's just violating, the whole concept is violating.
Well, the concept, right, isn't necessarily violating. It's the fact that it talks about the committee itself will solicit requests for proposals in conformance with 30B the committee has no ability to solicit proposals themselves, right? They can recommend that the town solicit those proposals. The only one that can issue an RFP is the chief procurement officer of a community. That's the state law. And then the other major component of that is they say 3 residents of the town, but they don't identify how they'll be selected or how they'll be appointed.
Right.
And so if you notice in Article 30, they took that feedback, which we let them know why it was ruled out of order, and they addressed those 2 things. They don't mention that they will actually be the ones, so they'll be soliciting possible
Oh, I see.
use concept
See the
proposals.
difference?
And then also, they specifically mention that the moderator will be the appointing authority for the residents.
So do we know why they didn't withdraw 29 then?
They would have to get everyone's signatures again.
Okay.
Yes.
Because that, right, because let's say you signed a citizen's petition,
I
that's
see.
your intent that it's going to be, so one person can then not decide, hey, I'm gonna take this out.
And if
or
you got
withdraw
10
this.
signatures, it's not as big a deal, but if they went out and got 50,
Yeah, 50, yeah, right.
they have to get all 50 to re-sign, right?
And if they got ahead of the curve a little bit and maybe got legal advice before they put this petition together, then it wouldn't have been deemed illegal. But they should have sought more legal advice before, again.
If they make an amendment from the floor, some type, so is town council at that point able to deem it legal or not?
Yeah, I mean, council should be, that's their job,
Hey, just
absolutely.
curious.
Yeah.
There's 2 pieces to it. It's
So
legal
do-
as well as binding. Sorry, John, excuse me.
The way it stands now, for me personally, I'm in favor of the concept, but I got a motion to recommend. I'm gonna vote that motion in the negative,
Right.
and
And if anything, you would,
the
if
second.
that's your
Article
feeling,
30.
yes, exactly.
Because I'm being told, I'm learning facts that it's illegal, so I will vote not,
Mm-hmm.
no against that.
Right.
And then a positive vote, for me at least, on Article 30.
Do we get to see these petitions at any point along the way?
As far as what do you mean?
Signatures?
I mean, they're public, if someone requests them, we don't,
I might request it, just because there's been a lot of activity around this building, and I just wonder if this is just another effort to, sidestep working within the town to resolve whatever issues there are. Who knows what the motives are, but I just feel like this has been going on and on and on ever since it was first voted to demolish the building. And I really understand people's concern about housing, I get that, but I still think it has to be resolved within the town. It can't be taken out of the town to,
I think it's just a group trying to make an effort to move forward. If you listen to the discussion that happened at the select board meeting, I don't know, I know, Terry, you
Yeah.
watch those meetings. People want to do something. I mean, their hands are tied in many ways because of the use of the property right now with the EPA,
I
right?
remember-
2029,
I
so.
remember a few years ago, we had in front of us, and they wanted to do something with a shelter. Council on Aging was getting involved, and there was various ideas that were, concerned about what we're gonna do with this building. We're just gonna demolish it, or should we just use it for something worthwhile? And there was a
well,
lot
and
of
the
good
effort to
ideas.
stop that was the designating it a historical.
Yeah, that's what, I remember, Terry, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
I just think it's a frustration of doing something, and as discussed at the select board meeting, there is no money to tear down the building. However you feel about the building, there is no money, or not enough, to tear
It
down the
was
building.
enough until it was put on hold.
Right. So, I mean, then there's just a whole controversy about the land, the building, whatever, but it's still, not the building, is not in use at all, if I'm correct, from
Nope,
Monday
due
night's
to
meeting.
fire,
But the
code,
land
the-
is in use
yeah, yeah.
through the EPA. Anyway,
So we've been sitting on this building for quite some time, so I
Quite some time.
understand why, they're trying to make some sort of action.
yeah, I mean, that's what it's based on.
Yeah,
That's my 2 cents on it.
yeah.
And Terry, you'll find my signature on it.
I'm hard-headed. Yeah. But like I have said before, I was not in favor of keeping the cultural center, and they have done a great
Yes.
job
Right, there you go.
over time, so
Right, you
I
never
guess
know.
I don't know everything.
No, you don't know,
Sometimes I
so-
think.
No,
But it's not written properly, so it's not even an option at the moment.
It's not, you're correct, that's right.
so are you ready to vote on Article 29?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
All in favor?
How are we voting first?
Well-
Are we voting to recommend?
No, I'm going
Well, I just want to write.
No, that's the motion, that's all, but we can vote yes or no. So yes recommends that this article be approved, or no says no.
Okay.
Anyway,
But the motion on the floor is
To
to not.
recommend.
to recommend.
So-
So
Yeah,
all
that's
in-
what I was getting confused
Yes, I'm
about.
sorry.
Thank you, Terry. Like, wait a
All
minute.
in favor? Any opposed? Opposed.
Okay, so 070.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, so Article 30 is still under review, so we should wait?
Yeah, you can wait till next week. correct.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Wow. I feel like we've moved through this
We
much
did.
more
I
quickly
think this
than,
arrangement of you and John working together, it's ideal.
I'm taking
We
notes.
should do this
I'm
Yeah,
taking
again.
it
some notes
saves,
anyway.
it saves a lot of time of reading the
It
article.
really does.
Okay. Everybody else can stay home. Me, we'll-
Yeah, John, I
That actually went pretty fast.
I like being a king.
I'll be too fast.
Yeah.
I mean, they shouldn't vote, but we can.
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Explain additional, oh, yeah.
All right, so,
Because we're waiting for the.
The question is the special town meeting warrant.
Yeah.
So we can review it. I'm gonna have you hold off on voting because we're reviewing projections tomorrow with our team to confirm the final amounts, but we can give you the essence of what it is.
Okay, so this is the special town meeting warrant?
Could I ask a question?
Yes.
So I see that the town meeting is at 9, and then this is at 10, so the special is within the
Go
town?
first.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'll,
It goes
they'll close
first.
it.
It goes first.
Thank you very much.
It
No,
usually
no, what
opens
happens-
the town.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
what
the
happens
first
is she'll
hour.
get through as many articles as she
Yeah.
can, and at 10, she'll recess, and they'll start with a special, and then
Thank
she
you very much.
Yeah,
adjourns, and then starts.
and then
annual
she'll,
again.
And Deirdre, I wanted to mention, just because you haven't been there, that we open the finance committee meeting before the town meeting, and
Yeah.
we keep it open in case somebody does some silly amendments from the floor that we then have to vote
So
on.
prior to that, we have, if any, line item transfers.
Yeah.
So you vote on any line item
Right,
transfers.
that's true.
So we gotta get there really.
Anyway,
Thank you.
special town meeting, Article 1, yes?
Yeah, so all three articles are supplemental appropriations to our enterprise funds. So as we dealt with in the fall, right, so in the fall, we had a prior year deficit in our enterprise funds, solid waste and water. Going into, so obviously at that point, the budget for '26 was approved already. It was approved in June of 2025. As we reviewed it, our revenues are healthy as a result of, particularly in the water department, our rate increase. But you still have to have had enough appropriated on paper, right? So using rough numbers, if we appropriated $5 million, even if our revenue was 10 million, technically, if we cannot spend a dollar more than 5 million without an additional appropriation. So we have the revenues to cover the expenses this year, but the expenses have come in higher than budgeted in June of 2025. So it's not a deficit, it's really just a budgeting miscalculation from prior year that we're making up for. So the number, so it's going to be for water, sewer, and solid waste. And we're confirming the numbers. We have a meeting with the whole DPW team tomorrow. But we're roughly in the range of 200,000, 100,000, and another 100,000. But the revenues are healthy. We're actually right where we should be, and we anticipate retained earnings starting to build back up in all these enterprise funds.
So we done this in prior years?
We
Not-
might have.
Not in recent
Okay,
history.
so I'm
not-
trying
not
to
in
jog
recent-
I don't remember. So this is the first time that,
In recent history, yeah.
Recent, yeah, but
You-
it has been done in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
way in
saying-
the
I'm-
past, Yeah.
You can,
Recall.
we're being proactive, we could wait, but then you run a deficit, and then we're back here in the fall making a deficit appropriation from certified retained earnings. So it makes sense, we know we have an issue, we know revenues are healthy, we don't need to wait for retained earnings. So if revenues weren't healthy, what would have to happen is we'd have to wait for retained earnings to be certified, then we'd have to basically pull from that to cover the deficit. That's not the case here, we just didn't budget enough on paper, essentially.
so do we know, we've had problems with the water enterprise fund, we've gotten in trouble, those are now.
Revenues are
healthier
healthy,
than
yeah.
what-
Revenues
than
are
in the
healthy,
past.
even
We
with-
just had a 13% increase in the
A
water.
mid-year rate increase,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. So even with the additional appropriation, we will start to build up retained earnings within the water enterprise fund, which is good. So that's, we have to get the amounts. We're waiting purposely last minute on this one because we want to get the most accurate numbers, because obviously we take year-to-dates, project out the rest of the expenses, and then that's whatever we appropriated, that's the delta, and that's what we need to appropriate.
Yeah, we capture one more month, so tomorrow was obviously May 1st, so we'll be able to capture April at
So are
least.
these levels close to where you think they're gonna be?
I believe so.
Yeah, we believe they're gonna be close.
I still can't vote without it being accurate.
Right,
No, just give you an idea, yeah, that we anticipate
Approximately.
being around here. I don't anticipate it going from 200,000 to 1 million.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
So next week, we can do the remainder of the articles from these annual, and then these three for the special.
How many articles do we have open? Do you know from your notes?
Should be,
It's only the tree and the.
3, was
You
it?
have 3 in the annual, and then these 3 in the special.
Oh, okay, good.
You have the tree
There's
bylaw,
not very many.
yeah,
Tree, yeah.
tree bylaw, the site plan review, and then the Article 30, the petition.
Yeah.
Okay. So certainly the first two shouldn't be controversial. They probably have a discussion about Article 30, but, okay. And then this is what it is. Okay, good.
Okay.
Aren't we efficient?
Very.
Really, no kidding.
Sometimes.
Moving right along.
Points,
Well, we're efficient when we don't have a task to perform.
Right, right.
but wait, now we can go to the fun of letter to town meeting.
Your letter, right. The letter.
It's not my letter, it's our
It's our
letter.
letter.
Well,
Yeah, that's right.
Everyone's
You
letter.
did all the work.
I want to hear from everyone
I
about
stand-
the
I
letter.
stand
I agree.
corrected.
No, we do that together. We always do.
All right, here comes the letter from, this is draft 2, which I sent out today because I had some time, so I went back to it because I can't control myself.
I apologize, I have not had a chance to read it, but I'll
Me.
read it.
Hey, we're not finalizing it tonight by any means, I'm sure.
Showing the last year's,
All righty, big enough for everybody to see? All right, I'm not going to read the whole thing again. So I got some feedback from Patrick at some of the red things, and then, as I said, I gave it more thought, so of course I had more thoughts.
Yeah.
So, of course, it did make sense to put in Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026 as the meeting date. Kind of an obvious thing to overlook, isn't it? Yeah, sure. So it's in there now. So this is the
Kind
same,
of funny.
I know, happens, we had a discussion before. When you stare at a document as long, sadly, as I stared at this document, you
You miss it, of course.
forget things,
Yeah.
overlook things, whatever.
Yeah, you don't.
Sure you do.
Notice it.
Anyway, so the key initiatives are basically the same. I had one wild thought, because I happened to see a glimpse to my right when I was sitting at a meeting the other night of the portal.
Were you peeking
And I-
at my screen?
I was, I'm sorry, it was right there, like, it was right there. And I saw what the portal
It
looks
wasn't a
like.
test, right? It wasn't a testing setting.
I don't know, I didn't think it was secret. Anyway, I thought it would be nice, if possible, to use something from the portal in here. Not necessarily here in that location, but I'd have to see how it fit with everybody. Is that possible, that we could show an example?
Yeah, I don't see why not. It depends what you're looking for.
Well, please, because obviously none of us have really seen it, other than my sneaky look. It would be nice to, what's your recommendation on what would be a nice screenshot that people might find interesting? Like how somebody's taxes break down? I mean, I think that's one of the points of it, right, that we see?
Could, yeah.
I don't know,
I'm
what's
just
better?
thinking, we only have it built out through 25 at this point, though.
Well, I mean, it
So-
could be
so we could-
explained.
Yes, I mean, if you wanted, we could pull like a chart. If you, after this, I can plug my computer and show you what
Okay.
it looks like to an extent. But we could pull a chart, and you can we could type in the average tax bill,
Mm-hmm.
and then show the breakdown of, $2,600 goes toward education, $300 go towards
Right.
this, like
Yeah,
that.
that'd
So
be
that
good.
may be an interesting.
That'd be good.
That would be great.
And
I
just
think.
put an asterisk
be
based
excellent.
on fiscal
Yeah.
25's
Yes,
budget.
Yeah,
right.
sure.
That would be quite useful, actually.
We haven't
Yeah,
closed,
I really
we haven't
like that
closed the
idea.
fiscal year yet, so.
No, understood, but it's just sort of a teaser of what's coming. And I think that would be really interesting for people to see. I know you're not launching it per se by town meeting, but
We
that's
should,
just a
actually, we're
look.
hoping to. We're hoping
Okay,
to.
well, good. Anyway, that was my thought, that's why there's a red line there.
Good.
Could there also be?
Good idea.
That's,
Yes, Deirdre, go ahead.
Sorry, could there also be language within the same context about we're calling it transparency and improved communications? These charts, your Facebook communications, the snowstorm communications, so somewhere in here, along with these accomplishments, increased efforts in effective communications. Even with it's in interdepartmentally, I've picked up on some wonderful things interdepartmentally. And I don't know if that's typically finance, but that could be improved communications and efforts because of the outreaches that we've made and you've made.
So are you suggesting a separate key initiative?
Either that or the improved the word terminology, improved communications, or efforts in communications.
I hate to take away, and I'm not saying that that's wrong, I just don't really want to take away personally from the portal, because I think that's kind of its own thing.
I agree, and that's one of
So
the
I hate to like
achievements.
downsize it to be blended in with other things that are good, of course, they're very good. So do we all think that that should be another key initiative?
Well, you also mentioned throughout the document about transparency, and I think that goes hand in hand.
Well, I tried to keep the, sort of the theme the same as we
Yeah, and
discussed.
I think that covers.
I mean, we can blend it in more somewhere else.
If you wanted to, yeah, but I think you really expound upon it enough.
maybe you included, under budget advisory group, like at the end, put comma, in an effort to,
Thank
in
you.
an effort to, improve transparency among, something like that, maybe it's
Well, it
included
says it in
that.
the first line of it,
Yes.
established to
Enhanced
support and
transparent.
enhance transparency.
Right.
I just wanted to
Okay.
ask
Just trying to-
Deirdre, what, can you, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to,
It's not important. It
Of
was
course
just.
it- of course it is.
No, really. It was a suggestion.
say again. because I'm trying to think where would it fit?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
And
really.
I suggest that, Cody is the top dog in as far as responsibility and communication, how well it's working. If he wants to toot his horn and come up with something to throw in here.
Not on me, it's a team effort. but-
What's that?
It's not me.
No, it's not.
I understand, but if you think it's
Right, like
key,
that
then
top dog.
come up with something
I
that
just
you think is
missed it,
appropriate.
yeah,
If
I
not,
just-
I'm
Yeah,
fine
sure.
with not mentioning it, but, we could try to guess where it's been, and if you think it's worth mentioning, then let's put it in there. But, this is a letter to town meeting that used to be a paragraph that's now 4 pages, and, we could go on and on and on forever.
Oh, we could.
And, how many people are reading
not.
it is what my concern is.
I think if you wanted
Gotta
to
give a
mention
quiz.
something like that, your best bet would be in the first paragraph.
Yes.
Just to say if the committee felt that way, that you could say, somewhere along the lines of, advise and support informed decision-making. That over the last fiscal year, the committee has seen, experienced or witnessed, increased communication and transparency or something.
Yeah, that's-
Something broad, and then,
Nice and
and
broad,
then these
because it's
initiatives,
not-
some of the key initiatives, I think, are part of that overarching theme.
Last year.
Okay, you have to say that sentence again,
Yeah,
because
over the
I don't
past
type with
year.
any skill.
I think witnessed.
Over the past fiscal year,
Fiscal, that was the word I missed.
the committee.
Efforts to
or-
increase
yeah.
communications, community communications.
Yeah.
Lists
Yeah,
them all
the-
right there,
the-
beautiful.
Yeah, the
Community
finance committee has witnessed or increased communication and transparency efforts or from the town, something like that.
From town administration.
Yeah,
Yeah, for the
increased
top- the team, yeah.
transparency.
Yeah, it's a team effort, but.
Yeah, no, I know,
it's-
I
It's
understand.
noticeable different, Cody, with.
And collaboration.
Your involvement, so.
I appreciate it, thank you.
Increased transparency and
I'll
collaboration.
add that in.
Yeah, because I do feel like we have a lot more collaboration than we've ever had, and maybe
There's no
that's just
question.
me,
Yeah,
but,
oh, no, there's no
yeah.
question.
and it's really appreciated.
Yep, it
And maybe
really
give
is.
some of these examples are here listed below.
Yeah.
Not to
yeah,
lead it,
right.
you know,
I
lead
think
it
that's
off.
perfect, yep.
Yep.
Oh, right, obviously, it's not going to say FC. All
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no,
perfect.
yeah.
right. Okay,
So the question I had, and I'm sorry to bother you again, Deirdre, but was it about the communications person? We talking about that work
No, I'm fully satisfied with the conversation that's been had and with the efforts of communications.
Because I think it's an important
No, I'm good.
point.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I'm sorry, it's so, I don't know why I struggle here.
You're
I don't know
not
why
the
I
only
struggle
one,
here.
believe me. You're not the only one.
So all I am trying to do and say
Yeah,
is that we have increased and improved communication efforts
yeah,
to our community
yep, we have.
with respect to meetings that we have and what I ask of town administration, I can tell you, and the efforts that we are making to, on television, provide as much information as we can to town meetings.
That's why I wanted to ask, because I do think that that's important to mention. I do. I think it's very
That's why I
important.
thought so.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
the-
yeah.
I'm happy that the conversation had. Thank you for allowing me to have it. And thank you for your considerations
It's
to
not
add
easy.
the language of effective communications in some manner, shape, or form.
You get a lot of people here at the table with a lot of opinions, so it's not easy to say what you think, but that's
Like
why I
herding
asked.
cats.
So, yeah, thanks, thank you.
Believe me. Okay.
It
So.
is a very important thing. I was going to suggest taking out Economic Development Committee only because it hasn't happened and it's an idea, and everything else that's on here has happened.
Well, it does say to be formed later this
I don't think
year,
that's a bad idea to
Is
keep
it?
it in there,
Okay.
Terry, because it
because I think it
shows
goes
an
with the whole
initiative.
theme.
You
Okay,
know, it shows an initiative.
okay.
It's a major initiative, so I would absolutely keep it in, would be my thoughts as
And
well.
it's been mentioned a few times at this point. I had two of these that had dollar amounts that I was hoping to put in something,
Right.
that show a savings or something, some kind of figure, which would be the gas utility renegotiation and the improved legal counsel
So
process.
gas
monitoring.
utility, I think, I wouldn't want to get any more specific than tens of thousands, because it fluctuates, right? Because the
No, I get
market
it.
for gas fluctuates, but I can confidently tell you, if we didn't settle when we did, it would be tens of thousands
Mm-hmm.
over the year more.
See, I would get away from dollar figures because.
No, but I'm just some kind of range,
I
something.
understand that, Janine, but
Doesn't have
you
to
don't
be
want to get
exact.
pinned down with it either, you know, so.
Well, tens of thousands is pretty broad.
Substantially higher, would you say?
If you want to say that, then
Yeah.
fine. but
I'm just
I
trying to
don't
figure
want-
out how to say it in there, that's all.
I stay away from it. I've gotten burnt before with dollar figures.
Well, I would never put in an
Past life.
exact figure unless two people
wouldn't
here
go.
said that it was exact and that was accurate.
Believe me. Take one of those.
And the other one was legal counsel. Didn't we have a range?
May I make a suggestion there to the wording as well?
Of course.
Thank you. The current wording I'm reading is improved legal counsel process monitoring.
Yes?
Could it be changed or include in some manner approval process? Because from what I recall, and what I've pointed out when I hear to Cody is someone is bypassing Cody for approving and contacting attorneys. So I think it would be wonderful to add, it says processing monitoring, approval process as well. If I
Yes.
heard correctly and understood the problem correctly in the fall. If I did not, then please.
Anybody? I know, I'm just asking for general opinion on that.
Legal counsel.
Makes no difference to me, frankly. Just, I want it to be however it should be summarized.
Maybe something like the town has been more efficient in the utilization of outside legal services, because like, I mean, to Deidre's point, some of that's true, but a lot of it was really, I think I gave the example of, rather than having legal review it, we would have legal draft it, right? We shouldn't be having legal draft contracts for us, right? We should be drafting the
Right.
contract, legal should be reviewing the contract.
makes
So-
sense.
So that's why I think maybe
So how about
efficiency or
improved use of legal counsel?
utilization, yeah, improved utilization.
That sounds better.
I'm sorry, where, for the
That
heading?
example is exactly what the wording should
Yeah,
be,
yeah.
because that's, the approval process, however you're reshuffling how that approval legal process happens.
Because the explanation says that,
Improved
so,
legal counsel utilization, is that
Yeah.
what we want?
yeah.
That sounds reasonable.
Well, you could say improved process to utilize.
It's kind of an odd.
I like what she said.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, we good?
Improved legal
And
counsel
so we don't want to add any
utilization. Yeah.
dollar figure?
I
No.
wouldn't,
No, because
away from
the
it.
minute we add a dollar figure, we'll end up in some expensive litigation in June and.
You'll be,
Sometimes, Cody, I
in
go back
trouble?
and listen to meetings and I hear what you say, and I know you've said dollar figures. That's the
Yeah.
only
Well,
reason
where-
I
Well, where
asked.
we are to date is what the
Okay,
dollar figures
probably,
I've given
yeah.
in projections to date, but.
somebody will come back and you will have more of that.
So I added, per Terry's suggestion, Citizens Academy, and frankly, I cut and pasted right from how it was promoted wherever, on social media probably.
Good initiative.
Sounds good.
Why would I rewrite it?
That's right.
You should.
Somebody obviously spent good time to write it well.
Yeah,
Do we have
to me.
anything else we feel like we need to add to that description?
The only thing that I might ask Cody about at the previous meeting, I think I heard, again, I was away, but I watched on TV, I think I heard you talking about fiscal policy development and working with Lynn Foster Welsh with regards to fiscal policy development. And I think that that might be something that could be highlighted, particularly from the Finance Committee, if that's something that is warranted.
So like review of financial policies, Deirdre, you're saying?
I think so. You may want to do that next, on the
Okay,
next warrant,
great.
because we haven't done it yet. We plan on doing it this summer.
Okay.
But we haven't done it yet. But yeah, I think it'll be a very good,
So it will be in our minutes, we will remember that way.
The only way I remember most things, Terry.
That's right.
Okay, so we're good.
Right.
The flow is whatever. It hasn't, because this hasn't been put into our letterhead yet, there's lots of spacing things, because we all know what's going to happen when it gets flowed into the letterhead.
Yep.
Okay, so then I had the section of understanding the town's budget, and these are two pie charts from Gary, and yes, I kept it simple. I like to keep things simple. There was a suggestion made about splitting the property tax to show residential and commercial. Is that a possibility, Gary?
I can look into that.
Just different shade of blue or something, and then obviously a description in a
if you
little
do
box.
residential commercial, then you're gonna have to do, like, parcel parking. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be
Yeah.
able to split it into residential and commercial.
Yeah, we'd have to show the three
We'll have to show all
categories.
three classes.
Well, three, okay, fine,
classes,
yeah.
Personal property, residential, commercial. I can look into it.
Okay, so that was a
It's a good
question.
idea, though.
Yeah, or we make a footnote that says 71% of this is comprised of,
That's what I would do.
35, whatever the percentages are.
Okay, all right, I
You know,
see. So
60% is-
kind of like the way the description is down the side
Right,
on the
right,
left, have
yeah.
another, or put on the
we
right,
can get the
because it's what
breakout.
space,
Yeah, no, that,
something that shows the breakdown?
yes,
Okay,
good idea.
yes, that is a good idea. All right. And then, same simple approach, where the money goes. Once again, pie chart from Gary, and it's been shown numerous times.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, like we talked about in, I think, last meeting, it's important that the public keeps on seeing the same graphs over and over. I think the narrative, so the narrative doesn't change.
Right.
We're consistently bringing that home to them, and we're not showing multiple different graphs of this information regurgitated in 6 different ways. I think it's,
Oh, I agree.
they
It's a
see it
me-
in one
it's-
meeting and they see it
Yeah.
at another meeting, so it's consistent.
That's how you do messaging. You can't keep
That's right.
switching around.
Repetition of the same message.
And we saw this section last week.
I'm sorry, so these are the only 2 charts that go in the FinCom's letter?
No, no, there's more.
Only 2 right now, for this others.
Okay.
There's another one already in this, and then I'm
Okay,
open for
I didn't know.
suggestions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we discussed the Dartmouth's financial policies and why they matter was last week's discussion. There was a suggestion from Patrick, actually, to add the as mandated by state law, so put that in there. Other than that, it's the same as we agreed on last week. And you can see, it was difficult last week on the screen to read what was bold. To me, that's if you see nothing, you see the things that are bold. And I'd like to think that that's how you learn. And I just added one sentence about the town's AAA bond rating at the end of this. See it, right? due to strong fiscal management, conservative budgeting, consistent operating surpluses, and a low debt profile.
Where did that description come from? Was that yours? Is that yours, Gary? The AAA
Which
bond
one, the one in
rating?
red? The one in
In
red?
red?
No, I don't know.
Oh, I'm
Janine
sorry.
I wrote
that.
it.
Yeah, Janine wrote it.
Based on my vast experience I've learned from Gary,
Well, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I just wanted to make sure it complies, if you will, with
Oh, yeah,
every
absolutely, yeah.
statement that,
Yeah.
okay.
And, I mean, we can go, I wouldn't, I know Cody and I have talked about this in a couple other meetings too, about the statistics and where we rank in that out of the 351 communities. Out of the 351, there are about 78 that are AAA, and we're the only community in Bristol County that's AAA.
should I say
So
that?
I wouldn't necessarily
Okay.
put that in there.
All right.
Because that ranking changes consistently,
okay,
you know,
that's fine.
over the course of time, but that's just something that the committee should know.
And how long have you had the AAA? I'm sorry, we.
I believe 2000 and, oh boy, 12. I thought it was around 2012.
I think so too, 2013.
2012. AAA since then. Thank you.
2012, yep.
I thought of Dartmouth the other day and their AAA rating because I heard the mayor of Taunton give a presentation and, as she should be, was very proud of their AA bond rating.
They just got upgraded to AA,
Yeah,
yeah.
And it was just funny because I looked and went, oh, AAA.
yeah.
I
There isn't much of a difference, I mean, when you go, like, if you're AA 3 or AA, there isn't really much of a difference between that and AAA, but if you're talking like single A, there is a big difference, you know? So, but it's very hard to become a AAA community, it's even harder to maintain it. So,
Well, that's why I thought we should add it since it was about financial policies.
Yeah, I think
Sort of
that's a good
my
sentence.
Basic section to get people to understand how the money is spent or whatever. I just think people need to know this. There's too many people who don't know it.
yeah, that's a good sentence to keep there.
Anyway, so the fixed costs, non-discretionary expenses, which was once a much larger area, if you recall. I looked at a couple ways to make it into like a bar chart or something like that, but that wasn't that appealing. So I decided to just kind of highlight some of the top cost drivers. So people would understand that these are basically fixed costs and, you know, we have limited flexibility. That was my point.
Are you utilizing FY '27's figures?
I am utilizing whatever figures Gary used most recently when he showed fixed costs.
Okay,
Should I change them?
let's make sure they're accurate, because for
Yes.
instance, Greater New Bedford Voc Tech, we reduced to 6.1. So the idea, I think, is good, but we just want to obviously make sure that they reflect the Schedule A budget.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can
Looking at
confirm
the
that.
right- I don't think I'm looking at the right letter, because I don't see that box. Huh, okay.
That came out later on.
I did it, I sent one this afternoon, I'm sorry, late this morning. This is draft 2.
That's no problem. I
Can
just
I
read it
got
all the
one
day.
comment, Janine. This
Yeah.
goes back to everyday operating costs. We have in parentheses like, can we get away from
Where are you, where?
everyday operating costs? Okay, I'm going back.
Give me a sentence or a
Every,
space.
okay, it's the second section, it's the first section, Dartmouth's financial policies, and then it skips down to everyday operating costs. It's a bullet. Goes up to the top of the page,
Okay,
okay? Could we get away from the word like and just keep it, paren, schools, public safety in town? So it was just a
want the
little
word
bit.
like gone.
Just,
on.
Yeah, just a little bit of wordsmithing, if you don't mind.
I've lived through it all my life,
Me too.
Bill.
I'm getting back, everybody ever wordsmith me, that's it.
I've been wordsmithed to death my entire career.
Me too.
You want to update those numbers I have?
Ad nauseam.
Oh, yeah, please. Hang on.
It's just a little bit of a,
So, health and life, 10.2. Greater New Bedford Voc, 6.1, pension and retirement. Let's see,
Retirement,
0.3.
7.3.
7.3 pension?
And, debt service,
That's less.
Voc Tech of 6.1, debt
debt
service?
service, 1.9.
1.9. How about the health and life, what was that again?
10.2.
10.2.
Two.
And then property and liability insurance, let me see, that's 1.4.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
And then, Is that all of them?
Yeah, I went for the top ones, 'cause
Okay, yeah.
I didn't want to consume half a page of this, which is originally what it was. So I just went for the ones that were literally a million or higher, just so people understood. Anyway, obligations represent a substantial share of the budget and limit flexibility, blah, blah. This section, fiscal year 2027 budget, came right out of last year's letter with a few highlights on changing the fiscal year. I didn't enter all the numbers yet, I just started to. So I need some help with some of those numbers, but this is literally a cut and paste from last year's letter,
3%
that whole
increase.
budget outlook section.
Well, it worked last year, so why not?
You,
Well, it sums up all the costs in
exactly.
one.
including this total.
I mean, you don't have to tell me now if you don't want to, I just,
Yeah, we'll get those to you.
yeah, no, it's not critical that we know it tonight. We're not expecting to finalize this tonight. I put in the numbers from the warrant for the capital budget,
Yes, yep. That's right.
just the splitting. Okay, so the last section is certainly open for review. Fiscal year 2027 and beyond budget challenges. I just, I don't want to read it to you. Y'all can read.
Right away would take out will soon, and instead, because I think it was clear from listening to the Budget Advisory Group that we're facing it right now, and it's being patched together.
We
Good
have
face, yeah, I agree with you. I agree.
We have
Take it out.
Done.
We
Face,
have one, because this year it's been patched together from 3 different sources.
face, a structural revenue, okay.
Yep.
And then I just put that into 3 categories ultimately with descriptions, which I sent in draft 1. Draft 2, I added the comment about state aid is in red. That's,
I honestly like what Deirdre said in the open comments the other night, in terms of the big picture, if there's some way to, I wouldn't ask her to repeat it right now, but that piece about, don't kid yourself that this is about finding cost savings someplace. This is about revenue. It's about revenue, and it's about the fact that we have fixed costs throughout the budget. Because I think people still think, oh, we can find some savings someplace, and maybe they could find some little teeny bitty savings, but nothing that's gonna make the
We
difference.
need revenue.
I don't disagree, Terry, at all, actually, but I don't think I say that here.
Oh, no, I was just
Okay.
thinking out loud that,
Oh, all right.
what I was remembering what
I
she
didn't
said
put- yeah.
about the kind of, let's look at this from another point of view. It's not,
Could we call this a structural deficit? Because it is a structural deficit, and we talk about structural deficits.
it's a
We don't talk about structural revenue shortfalls.
No.
It's a structural deficit.
It's the way,
Yeah.
we're spending more money than we take in, make it
so
simple.
like many communities, is facing a structural deficit.
Oh, hang on.
Facing a fiscal cliff. Rome is burning. So, I might recommend that we all take a look at this and really kind of, we want to put our collective thoughts together representing each other's, or if we want to try to communicate our individual thoughts as one town, one Dartmouth. I was at the BAG the other night. It was the first time I was at the BAG. I never saw the BAG on TV, and I didn't think that was the BAG, that was what the BAG was doing. Obviously, if you could see me in the back of the room. So my own personal thoughts as one individual member is I need a little more time with this one, but I'm happy to yield to everybody else's thoughts.
Well,
in
there's
that
no
regard.
hurry, so we can have everybody give their,
Well, I'm not suggesting it's not a hurry, but certainly I'd like to have a final copy by next week's meeting.
there's plenty of time to do that,
I
right?
agree, if people submit comments,
Okay.
because I sent out draft
No, I
1
agree.
on
Well,
Monday.
I agree, Janine, 100%.
So what exactly are we missing with this, other than if you want to change structural revenue shortfall to deficit? I mean, that's,
I think,
Got a lot.
for just my opinion, Bill, I think that we still have a difference of perspective about what's going on here, and I think we still have some thought process that if we just get somebody from the outside to come in and look at things closely, they're gonna find where we're going wrong, and they're gonna correct it, and I think others of us, including me, have looked at it for long enough to know that what corrections we could have made have been made, and still we find ourselves in the same place. We need more money. We don't know where the money's coming from. It's not coming from where we would like it to. Yeah, there might be some ways to collaborate or regionalize some things. I don't really think that's going to save a lot of
I'm
money.
not disputing that.
Oh, no, I know you're not. I know.
I'm just saying the way this is worded, you hit on rising costs, absolutely, persistent inflation.
Yeah.
Revenue constraints, absolutely. Proposition 2.5 really is run by way of the dodo, and it probably should be looked to be eliminated or replaced with something else. Totally agree. Yes. And we also imply, in the beginning of the letter here about economic development, all that, which should be, in essence, we would be generating revenue from that. Yes, all these things could be, again, mentioned here, but we already have mentioned it. If you-
You mentioned in the latter part of this as well, without getting
So,
too much detail.
It's, may I?
go ahead.
Thank you.
I just don't.
I would like to take the opportunity myself to talk more about the town as a whole with respect to budget challenges. I would like to talk and represent to the community that minimum aid is the problem, and minimum aid community is calculated by. But here we're talking about the school, the special education, the school. Minimum aid is also calculated by the equalized valuation in land worth. That's not the problem of the public school department. We don't talk about the net school spending conversation that we had the other day at the BAG, but no one can answer. But the FY budget challenge beyond is because net school spending isn't moving.
Well, you're
But I'm
also,
talking in respect to just taking some time and by next week, finalizing this and maybe putting a little more terminology into why we're struggling as a community because we're minimum aid.
Yeah, so why
It's
doesn't the
not
committee,
just-
why,
That's not the main reason.
well, you're struggling because the state formula.
Exactly.
But that's not the
And
main
that-
reason.
Yes, Brian, it's not the main reason, you're right. But that goes over and above our purview here, that's the state issue.
I'm just looking for a bullet or two that kind of explains it, that's all. And I think that
Well, you
this
can,
area
but-
talks about revenue constraints, Proposition 2.5. Revenue constraints are also the way Chapter 70 funding formula is calculated. So let's put Chapter 70 funding formula calculations in there. If you're gonna throw the expenses of the school department out there, let's throw the revenue issues that we have out there too. That's all I'm saying.
Mike did his.
I have no objection to feedback. I ask for it constantly. Awesome. So, but I expect to see it in an email.
You're gonna have it.
Doesn't matter
Because
what
you heard me at the bag when I was
I
jumping
did.
up and down trying to do a
Sorry,
public comment there.
confuse what we have to write, though, with what the budget advisory
I
group
promise
has to
you I
write.
won't. I'm just looking for a little bit,
No, of course, I didn't
Just
write
a
this
little
with
bit.
the expectation that this was a final. Oh, my God, no.
Jenny, just to actually get copies of it, under revenue constraints, in your red line there,
I had done a while ago.
That was just.
state aids
Yeah.
has remained relatively flat, and then we go on to say the increase in share of the
Well, that's-
financial
that's-
burden onto taxpayers. Now, you and I both know what that means, but to most people, should it be very simple, Dartmouth taxpayers? Because we're talking
Oh, that's
about,
fine.
because the state aid is funded by me as a taxpayer and you as a taxpayer.
Right.
The burden is on the Dartmouth taxpayers on when it's flatlined like it is, so, okay.
yeah, so obviously, I mean, this is gonna take one more pass, so, I mean, why don't
Oh,
you
yeah,
just,
of course, oh, my God.
you know,
I didn't write this with the
this is,
expectation
just-
that
at this
was
point, it's
done.
bullet point, I mean, it's ideas. And so if you send it out,
You have to
you'll
get
have,
it.
you'll have better word.
I
Thank
think
you,
we're
Janine,
good. We
for
looked
putting so
at
much
half
time
of
and
it, and I
effort
think
into
we're
it.
in agreement on half of it. I think it's this,
Yeah,
this
no,
part.
I want people's feedback.
And I appreciate the draft, because honestly,
I do
that
too.
could take so much time.
Yes, I appreciate the work that was done on this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Saves us an incredible amount of.
Yeah, and I
No
think
question.
it's, you know.
100%.
It's really, it's really thoughtful, concise, and it's brief. I mean, I don't wanna say brief, but it's,
It's very informative.
right, it's
It's
all.
informative,
yeah,
but
if we
also
fit it
it's
on
straight
two
to the point.
pages.
There's a lot there for someone who wants to
Right,
know.
right. And
I
as we
don't-
mentioned the last
I don't think
meeting,
every
it's
town meeting member is reading it, but the people who want to know,
It's out there
there's a
to
lot
be
there.
not all the time about graphs, it's about actually having to read the document. That's kind of what we talked about last meeting.
could I ask one more question? And are the, so sorry. Does the Finance Committee consider enterprise funds a budget challenge for FY '27 and beyond to communicate out to the town meeting? Because I don't see that here, and so that was something that I would add, but if it's not something that should be added, I guess I don't know enough what to not put in and what to put in.
Increases.
They're going to
Really,
increase.
But
doesn't
that's all
really-
that I would talk about as a budget challenge. Sewer, water,
But it doesn't, they can vote themselves increases. So
But
it's
is
not-
that a budget challenge?
Maybe
It's
keep
not
it
a-
as, maybe put it as a separate bullet, and something that says, enterprise fund budgets are
That's a
monitored,
little
or,
thing.
something to that point,
Just a
you can come up
little
with
thing.
something.
It's actually a good point, particularly as we talk about our capital costs, right? We all know we're going to be looking for significant debt, not just in the general fund, but through the enterprise funds. And so with that, in addition to the operational costs, I mean, we're looking at some potential debt within our enterprise funds as early as this fiscal year, going into '27. So actually, it may not be bad to mention, I don't think you need to do a full page or even paragraph.
No, but we need a bullet
Yeah,
in here
it's an
somehow,
important
some
point,
kind of
yeah.
description. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And something that's gonna impact the ratepayers only.
Yep.
Right.
So not only, your future taxes going up, but.
Yeah, right, your rates, yeah.
Your rates.
Just
are
out of
going up.
curiosity, how many people are actually ratepayers in the town, like on a percentage basis?
Well, for water and sewer, we have about 10,000 accounts.
Okay, but how many, so the,
In
Some around water, some around-
1,500 commercial maybe, around there? About 1,200?
Yeah, around.
So you have over 7,000 residential accounts, and that's accounts, so then, you may have multiple people living within the home, so it's a good amount. And then obviously the solid waste is different because that's open to everyone, and that's technically a rate that people are paying.
And keep in mind, some around water don't have sewer, so it's a combination
Yeah,
of,
that's a hard.
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, between all of
Absolutely.
them, we probably touch at least 80% of the town, between solid
No, I was just
waste,
wondering out
water,
of
and sewer.
curiosity.
Yeah.
Well, you saw by the enterprise fund, it's the large budgets. And they're growing, so.
Oh, in waterways, yeah.
Oh, no,
for
that
those
should be in
Yes,
here, I agree, in some shape or form. Your input on that is welcome, your writing skills.
You can do that.
All right, just to go ahead a little bit, we go
Where do we
back.
agree? We're gonna, with particular care for the last section, come back the next week?
Yes, absolutely.
And finalize the whole thing, subject to
Ideally.
debate.
Of course.
Well, what I would suggest is if anyone has any addition, as you read it, send it to Janine.
Yes, please do.
But you can't have, you can't
No,
have,
no, I agree.
can't have
Don't-
conversation, but
that's
you can
why-
send
Here
it.
you can. In-
Oh, yeah, here,
Yes,
not,
of
not through
course.
email.
Right.
Can't through email.
But that's why I don't necessarily encourage it when I sent it out. I mean, you were welcome to send me feedback individually, it's fine, of course. And then we can incorporate it to a degree somehow, and then next week, hash it out again.
Well, let me ask you a question.
But I just think there's a difference between inflexible operational costs than,
Yeah.
mandated instead of inflexible. I mean, there's some nice work to be done here.
You can wordsmith me to death,
Thank
you
you.
can't possibly hurt my feelings. As I said, I had a career in it.
I'm really looking at this as one document.
I'll bring my synonym finder and
That's right.
antonym finder.
Brian, go ahead, Brian, come on.
When I come.
Source.
I can bring you back some of my old bosses, you can have them here too. They're very good with.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, let's just move on a little bit more so we can maybe hash out a couple things. But yes, please send me stuff. Okay, so this is the only other chart that I put in here. Doesn't mean that we can't put more. Also supplied by Gary. So I think it shows ultimately what's happening with what we have, that 96% is already committed to the existing base levy, and that we have very little to be able to help us,
What does that mean?
for lack of a better word.
What does that mean, 96% is committed to the base levy?
It means that this is already accounted for.
So it's already earmarked.
Right.
If you're looking for opinions, I find that paragraph incredibly confusing.
Okay, all right, no, please.
Only, as I read it, over and over, I see what you're saying,
Yeah.
but also I work in this every day, so I'm
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
of the
no,
average
that's why
person.
yeah. I mean, it's ultimately that it doesn't deal with, things that are rising, that we have a
Yeah,
set
right, I think-
figure.
yeah,
And that's
right,
fine. That's why, yes, please, send me some other words. I needed to have something to explain that chart.
What's the other 4%? I guess.
Oh,
Remaining
below, so
pieces, new
new
growth.
growth,
New
2.5.
That exclusion.
New growth, allow, yeah.
I think the chart speaks for itself, and I'm not
I don't
saying
know, I
this
think
to
it
you.
needs something, Gary.
Right,
only
right.
'cause
I
people-
mean, maybe underneath, the explanation is,
The total levy, maybe a paragraph on the town's taxing ability or capacity is made up of, and you could go into, prior year's levy limit, which then you could say 96% of this year's.
Well, I think,
due to-
I've
it's due to-
been doing this for 6 years and I find this confusing. So I think
Right.
has to be.
We really gotta dumb it down
I know,
if we're
I know.
finding.
Not dumb it down, but I mean, it's
I
gotta
think-
but
be,
I think
it's
you-
gotta be explained in
It's gonna
plain
be,
English.
actually, the use of bullet points is the best. Sometimes the narrative can become convoluting. And I think we could try to do something like, for instance, this section we're just talking about, where it says FY 2027 and beyond. To Deidre's points, we could sub-bullet some of these under like revenue constraints about the state and all this and all that. Short and concise, not too wordy, because, you lose people if it gets too
Absolutely.
wordy. And I've learned that in the past too. Sometimes brevity speaks a lot more than an overexposed narrative.
Like, I suspect most people don't even know what new growth is.
I agree.
So there would be so it should be
maybe to Bill's
new
point,
construction.
maybe to Bill's point, under the chart, bullets, like, right, new growth.
Equals.
Right, what new growth is.
Exactly.
And the chart will speak for itself when they see the
Okay.
numbers. I mean,
Exactly.
That's
And what a
just
debt
some kind
exclusion
of
is, because even in the bag meeting, people were getting confused
Yeah.
about what a operational
maybe
budget
explain
override.
Please.
So you
bottom of
could,
That whole
I don't know how
conversation is-
complicated you want to make this.
I don't wanna
but
make it
you-
complicated.
well, but if you're looking for something like that, I think you're better off providing somewhere here, a sheet or half a sheet, commonly used terms, and here's what they
FAQs,
mean.
Well-
Document, because I think if you put it in one
Absolutely.
spot, you may reference it somewhere else in the document.
Yeah.
I guess,
Right, new growth means this, debt exclusion means this.
Like a
That's
key.
school
Like a
spending,
key,
yeah.
No, I know what you're saying, because I felt like I did that separate conversation, in the explanation of our financial policies. I thought I pretty much dumbed it down. to,
Yeah, right.
As simple as could be.
no, I mean,
Savings
I think it's
account.
good, because it explains how it
Right.
works. But I think a lot of these words are jargon that
You're right,
people in
yeah.
government understand.
Yeah, the average person doesn't know.
Average person
I
So
agree,
we could
yeah.
put key definitions somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
And
think
at
so.
the end of the document, that people can reference.
I
We're
think
not
we
gonna
should try
define
to get it
everything,
down to
but
4
what we think
pages,
is
too.
key.
But I mean,
Yeah.
something like a debt exclusion,
Absolutely.
that's the key to the
I'm sorry.
understanding
It
what's
is, yeah,
going on
absolutely.
now.
Yep.
And like I said, in the bag meeting, people were confusing what a.
So the
Right,
way
with
we're
the
gonna do
operational.
this is we can review and send it to you.
Please.
And then you put it together and.
I will attempt to
And we'll
put
hash it
together
again.
what I have received from everybody.
So,
Keep it simple,
Is
of
that the
course.
last chart, Janine?
Yes, it is the last chart,
Okay, so maybe on the,
ask, so if you had that,
in this document.
like glossary of terms, would that be part of this document?
Yes, I think it
Could.
should be.
So, yeah, I think you
fine.
can,
Yeah,
yeah.
as long as it's part of the document.
Yeah, no, it should fit in
I like
somewhere.
glossary of terms.
You like glossary? Oh, thank God, Brian likes it.
Could I ask a question about an additional chart or the potential of a additional chart? I don't know if this board or another board might write a letter. So forgive me if I'm in the wrong place.
What'd you say
So what
again?
would be the chart
Another
for?
chart.
For what?
The current 40Bs, Hathaway, Hawthorne, Sherborne Farms, the number of units.
What?
Hold on, I'm almost there. Hold on.
Okay, Dina,
that's
go
all right.
ahead, yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm looking to identify, what is our requirement for 40B housing? Is it 2,000 units? How far off are we on those units? And what's the financial potential impact? to 40Bs. Now, you don't have to go there because we
don't
all
know
know
that
what it is.
yet.
All I am looking for is the number of units for the current 40Bs that we're talking about. And if I'm in the wrong place, I'll go somewhere
No,
else.
I just don't, I
It would be
can't
in
really
this
connect the
letter.
dots to this.
To a letter to town meeting.
That's all. I know the information is important,
Well, it's
but I'm
putting the
not
cart
connecting.
before the horse.
Okay,
I don't think
The
we're
only
there
thing
yet.
that I think
But
that
we're
we
not there
could,
yet.
we could make a very general statement that there are, because we're pretty close to approving these three developments, correct?
Say we're close to a decision,
Close to decision.
do a decision on that.
That's
yeah.
true. You
Then
don't want to say
we
approving.
can't put,
And you're
yeah.
starting Sherbrooke. That's what happened tonight.
Tonight was the public hearing, toward the end of the public hearing for Sherbrooke,
So it's
correct?
premature. And I don't think it's going to be as bad in some ways as people are saying, although I'm not looking forward to the traffic, to tell you the truth, because they're all in my area, but.
Nor is anybody else.
Right, but, I mean, it is what it is. So I thought if we were closer, then I think it would make sense to put it in, but we're not close enough.
Well, I mean, okay, so are we saying nothing about 40Bs, or we have something that might
Why
actually
don't-
relate to the rest of this letter?
I wouldn't put it in.
First
Why don't
thing-
we wait, and maybe somebody, when they make their amendments and they write it, will
Yeah,
have a
they
good
have
argument.
something.
I don't see
putting
the
it in.
connection at this point.
I don't either,
You-
honestly,
it's
because we
putting the
don't
cart
know
before
the
the horse.
financial information.
First thing is, I think we have to be careful about saying 40Bs. Second thing is, I think we have to be careful about what we assume that means, because I
Right.
hear people say, we're gonna have so many needy kids. Well,
No,
just
I know
'cause
what you're
they're,
saying. It's true.
you
It's
know,
not right.
Not necessarily, it depends on who moves in, and.
That's
and
very true.
The 40B part of these developments is only a third. So
25%,
there's still,
a fourth,
25%
It's
even.
really
So
about
there's
the
gonna
number
be
of
more.
units. It's about the
Yeah,
number
there's
of
gonna be
units,
kids,
nothing
and
else.
kids in general are needy these
Doesn't matter.
days.
I'm more focused on private roads, but I will take my thoughts about that and communicate those out to Cody.
Lucky guy.
So you are the man that
It's
has
just
to.
a quick little,
Dog, right, John?
Man, that's.
So I'm telling you, we need to write that in our,
Top dog, that's it. Says it all.
then we'll get to see how many people
It's
actually.
lonely at the top, right, Cody?
Cody,
You'll have
top
to start
dog.
howling for us.
Yeah, right.
Top dog. Stick a sticker on him, top dog.
This was a good conversation, and it is a difficult conversation, so I
Always.
give us all credit for getting through it, because
Yes,
it's
it
not
is.
easy.
Survived it.
It's very
Yes.
hard.
Okay, so assignments.
This is, I have to say, this is a lot more, this is like the easiest one we've done.
Yeah.
Every year, it's like a struggle to come out with this letter. It's really good.
It is.
Not done, let's not, until, we're not done.
Oh, except the
Top
copy.
dog.
When I'm stuffing the envelopes to mail it, then we'll say we're done.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. When it's printed and be put in an envelope.
Handwriting out the addresses.
Addresses,
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Are we on the last page?
No. Anyway, everyone, please, I want input from everyone. You all know how to write email, so I know that you can put something
get it.
together
You get
on
it.
this, or just dissect it right on the document, however you choose. Right now, we're at approximately almost 5 pages, maybe 4.5.
If we could
was
get it
longer
down to
last
4,
year.
that would be awesome.
No,
I think-
that's- I agree with you.
I
too.
think it would be great to get it down to 4, I think.
Agreed.
Well, then you can do 2 pages front and back, you know, that's,
No, I agree, I love even
Four is-
numbers,
yeah,
because
4 is good, yeah.
we were odd number last year, it does use extra
Where will the
paper.
glossary of terms go?
That's right, that's the fifth one.
Well,
It's also, you lose people's attention
I
after
don't think we
page
need a
2.
page of terms.
Sometimes you will.
Argue that
Yeah.
out.
Most of the time, like,
You will, Cody, you will.
yeah, then people just sort of skim and see if anything catches their eye. So if it's too long, people,
I will say,
Potentially
though, I
won't read
think
it.
town meeting members are getting more serious about reading
They are.
what they get.
They read
and
some of it.
asking questions, which is nice.
no, I definitely.
Because I hear
see
that in the
more.
olden days, a lot of people would be opening them up right at the town meeting.
Oh,
and
they
I
still
don't
do.
see that happening now.
Well, not as much. I
not
only
as
want to
It used
correct
to
that,
happen
not
and
as much.
frustrate a lot of people,
Yeah,
but
I
it
mean, as
was
they're walking in the
far
door.
and few in between, but it did happen, you know, because you could hear the envelopes being looked over.
Yes, absolutely true.
So the goal is to finish this next week.
I would love to see it done by the
Okay.
end, that we
Do we
agree
need
on.
to schedule another meeting to do that, or do you think we can do
Well,
it?
it has to be finalized by next week because
of
the packet needs to go to
Terry.
the clerk.
Okay.
So it has to be.
This
well,
doesn't go
this-
in the packet.
Right, but I mean, unless we want to have an additional meeting.
Right.
I
it has to
would
be done.
like
You know.
to, hang on a second, I need to look at the
Okay.
calendar for a second.
I would say
like
that,
to have it done next week, so next week is the 7th. I think we can.
So how will we do it? We send our comments into you separately?
Well, we have,
And
so
then
next
we-
week, we have very little to vote on, is that correct?
Right.
We have very little
Yeah.
to vote on.
You'll
that.
have your rationales.
Right, so that's a separate conversation, but yes. And I think we can get this done next week. I'd like to have it done so the copies can go to the select board before their meeting on the 11th. So that's my one reason for
You want to
deadline.
divide up rationales to write, would that make it easier at all?
Well, let's talk about that. That's the next big task at hand, is the rationale.
So the goal for the letter would be to be mailed no later than the 15th.
Right.
I would say so, because when did the town, I know it's 2 weeks before,
They received it 2 weeks before last year.
so she typically would be mailing
So that same timeframe
Should
should be
be, yeah.
mailing.
about that same timeframe?
It'll have to, the warrant has to be out by the 19th, right? Because we have to do 2 weeks because we have a special this time around, and a special requires 2 weeks.
So she has to mail by the 19th.
Yeah, the latest. She'll look to get it out probably around the 15th. We'll get her everything on the 12th. Takes her a couple days, and she'll probably
Okay.
look to get it out the 15th.
That's 2 weeks from, tomorrow, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's different.
So
So
what does that
we're,
mean?
we're not in that packet. It's just understanding the timeline of everything, because we still want to get it, so maybe it's a little bit before they get the
So
packet.
the plan would be resolve it next meeting?
Yeah,
11th?
ideally, you think?
Yeah.
Think we can?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So the rationales is a whole other project.
Rationale and the pros,
It should be quick, though, because
Well, I was gonna,
Not quick, hello?
Is there
not that
anything
quick.
controversial?
That's what I'm thinking,
no,
so
we
I,
agreed to everything.
we've done them.
It's not
in
about
the
that,
meeting
Brian. There's a
before.
lot
Is
of
that
writing
a
on
reasonable
there.
thing?
Well, it doesn't have to be, that's my point.
There's
Do
a,
you think that we could do them in the meeting next week? if
The
we're-
rationales?
Yeah, because we've
think if-
done them.
I think if it gets done, this is how I work. If you don't know how
Yeah.
I work by now, I write it and then wait for it to be chewed apart.
That's right. Right. If you want
The
to,
Janine's method.
Terry,
Here it is. I hate it, I don't hate it.
Has a, so you have a template from.
Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, so.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of
want
cut
to
and
do that, or
paste.
do you want to
Yeah.
divide them up and
It's a lot
have
of cut
people
and
write
paste.
the sections?
Let me look at it.
Okay.
And who is willing to do some?
I mean,
I know you are, Terry, and I know Carrie is.
she just voluntold me.
Deirdre and Brian
I was
volunteered.
Well,
gonna
first
say,
of all-
I'm straight out for about a week at work, and then it's gonna lighten up
Brian
significantly.
loves to write.
I like to write, but I don't know if I like to write this.
But if we're dividing them up, I should be able to do some.
All right, let me look at it.
Look at it and let us know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel myself cutting and pasting already.
We're here to assist the esteemed
But I know
chairperson.
Terry helps.
Yep, I can help, you, sure.
Thank you, Terry. Brian, you can help.
I can help.
'cause-
Deirdre
I'm
can
feeling very cranky about this whole process.
If we all take a few,
Ah.
then they should fly through. It should be.
Hang on.
If we had controversy, then that would take a
That's
little.
different than we have to write.
No,
our
no,
own.
we're lucky we don't have majority, minority, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
7-0.
So just copy a couple of lines out of each one.
You lose.
No, it's a lot of cut and pasting, but it's a bit of work. I just don't want to imply that it's
Well,
not
we
a bit
basically
of
cut
work.
and paste right out of the thing. We recommend and then.
So much of
Oh,
the
that's
stuff,
like this, we
yeah.
recommend, blah, blah,
And it's
blah.
just a short sentence.
Pro and
It's not
con.
usually-
She'll
Not
let
a
us
lot
know.
of, you know.
Yeah, she'll let us know.
I will. I'll look at it and see how I can split it and who accepts the responsibility that I assign.
I'll send you my notes that I just took, but it's not many.
Okay,
But
no,
I
that'd
will
be
send
good.
that
Thank
to
you.
Yeah.
Do we have administrator's
Oh, yeah,
update?
I'll-
Always, yeah. Do you want to hand me that cord, and I'll give you a little sneak peek in
Oh,
the
yeah.
budget
Ooh,
portal?
yes,
It'll
please.
take about 2 minutes.
Can I time you?
Pass it down.
Oh, okay. You know, I'm the shortest one here.
And?
I got short arms.
Oh, that's right.
So far, it looks good.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
talk about simplifying.
I know what that looks like. I looked at it for 20 minutes at last week's meeting.
3D glasses on.
Something's up with that cord. I think it needs to be replaced in the future or something,
recognizing it.
No,
because
I'll tell you, because I came in early to get it to work. It had,
doesn't
for
make
my
no sense.
case, his plug's right into his computer, but we waited on this, we let that sit and then plug
Here
in.
comes help.
look,
Here
see?
it comes. It's not my problem this time. so.
Yeah,
He said it was gonna
So you had to wait for that to catch up
Yeah,
last
you, I
time.
mean, it recognized it.
Correct, that was
It
part of the
definitely
problem, because
recognized it. No, it did.
I came in early,
Oh,
because at
did it?
home, no problem, I'm telling you, I have a
Oh, I
remote
believe
monitor.
you. I
have a
believe
remote-
you.
This afternoon, I went and I tested everything, I
Oh,
tested
you
the
had
ports.
you have a remote monitor?
That's why I said, I know it works. It has something to do with letting the power catch up on this
Yeah.
first and then plugging it in. I went through it with him.
See, it's recognized.
is that what it was?
I don't know. Now it's Cody's issue.
What do you see in display
I think that
settings?
cable
Don't mind
needs to be
going to
replaced.
desktop.
That's what I think.
In the meantime, do we have any liaison reports?
No,
I have none.
Nothing from me.
there's nothing, no.
Anybody?
Oh, I
Liaison
have one.
reports? Yes,
yeah,
please,
wink
Brian.
In the bag?
Yes.
The bagistas.
Just
The
don't make it as
baguettes, the
long as the
baguettes.
bag meeting.
We submitted an interim report for everyone in the bag group to review, and then get back and rewrite a final document. It'll take a couple of rewrites for the select board. That's it.
Wow, very brief.
There was a very
the
good,
point.
there was a very good DPW meeting this morning. Cody and Gary also attended. It was a very good meeting from the perspective of announcing to the Board of Public Works what the debt schedule is for the first time. They saw their debt schedule for the first time. Discussions on capacity were had, and I've been worried about those, so thank
One
you
on the
very
wall, yeah.
much for those discussions in regards to that. Cody will touch upon some of the other conversations. Thank you.
You have enough?
I don't have, but you can log in.
No one else? Carrie? No?
Nope.
Bill? No? Okay.
No, I don't have anything.
I will say, while we're
next month.
configuring here for a second, Citizens Academy is going great. We are doing finance this coming Wednesday. We have one member of the finance committee looking to attend. If there's one other that wants to attend, let me know. We're trying to keep it limited, so if there's up to two members of the finance committee, I think is fine, but
What is it? When is it?
it's Wednesday here at Town Hall at 6 PM, and our finance division will be going. So Gary will be going, assessing, collecting, accounting. So we'll have that on Wednesday. We're, let's see, 2/3 of the way through as of this Wednesday already. So the only ones left after this will be education and DPW.
How's attendance? Is it,
It's great, yeah, I mean, it's pretty
It's
consistent.
maintaining, or is it
Yeah, I mean,
falling
there's,
off?
no, it's not falling off. There's classes, someone has to miss one or two, but it's been consistently, we have about 23 people that attend on average. We had 25 that we accepted, so on average, we have a couple that, can't make various classes.
Is there
Yeah,
a good range of ages?
it's a very good
et cetera?
range
Yeah.
of folks. Age-wise, it's a very diverse group in a sense. You have individuals who have lived in Dartmouth their whole life. You have some that have lived here for 2 or 3 years. You have some that have school-age children, some retired. It's actually a really good, and I think one of the better, if they're better would be parts is, it's a group that isn't already involved, right? My concern initially was, we're gonna get the same faces that we get. It's not at all. There was one or two people who I recognized and have some involvement, and everyone else is
good.
kind of new, so it is great.
Great,
The COA kitchen is out to bid. We have a pre-bid, I'm sorry, not a pre-bid, we have a bid conference tomorrow for any prospective general bidders, and bids will be due back from all general bids in, I think, mid-May. So that project will hopefully award a contract the end of May, early June, and get that on the road. We talked about the school bus, we talked about the supplemental budget bill. The budget portal is ongoing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Did I go ahead, Deidre?
Sorry, the supplemental budget bill?
Oh,
is
yeah,
that-
so the supplemental budget bill also
Enfold in your
includes-
9C cuts, the conversation.
Yeah, we
thank
do
you.
not anticipate 9C cuts because obviously they wouldn't be giving us supplemental funds if they anticipated that, so that's good. Within the supplemental budget bill is additional funding to help us address the snow and ice deficit that we experienced this year. So hopefully that passes. That's part of the bus, the 150,000 for the bus there. We should know by mid-May is what we're being told. And that appropriates, Dartmouth is somewhere in the $400,000 range, I think, is what they're looking to additionally appropriate us to help us with snow and ice, which is good. And then we will not have that on the special town meeting. We're going to raise the snow and ice deficit on the recap, which is one of our options.
Thank you.
Good.
All right, you're gonna.
Let's see if this works. If not, you can.
Oh, no, he doesn't plug right in either.
Oh, he does have an adapter.
Yeah, he has an adapter like we have.
Yeah, I wonder if it, did you have an adapter
Oh,
too?
I do have an
It's on
adapter,
computer.
but we sort of proved last week it wasn't the adapter, since,
Yeah, because mine worked.
All right.
as does mine, tonight, again.
I tried this one.
So that's two different adapters that work.
Interesting. All right, here, let's plug in. Yeah.
Could be an Apple thing.
No, mine's on Apple.
Oh, you're not an
I have a
Apple? Then why do you
Microsoft.
have an adapter?
Well, I have an adapter because it's the
Hello.
ports. You don't
Oh,
necessarily
you don't have an Apple either?
No,
Oh.
That should be.
it's the ports they give you, depending on what model you got and et cetera.
Okay.
Yay.
So this is what, once we launch, this is what the public will, let's see. We'll see, right? So this is that kind of, I think, pretty cool part. You can put in what your tax bill is. So I'm gonna take the average tax bill this year in Dartmouth, which is $5,276, and show my contributions.
What's the average, 5,000?
5,000?
52.76.
Yeah, 52.76. And so, you can see, right, the breakdown percentage-wise, and this is just general fund. I'm gonna change it to 25, because 26, it's only gonna show us what's been spent year-to-date, right? So it's not really an accurate, it doesn't show you the full picture, so, up here, you can go 25. And so, yeah, what you have is the pie chart, breaks it down by percentage. And then this is where it gets pretty interesting. You can actually see your contribution, right, to each of these categories. So if the average taxpayer, based on that 5276 bill, 3,081 is for education, 954 is for employee benefits and other, public safety, general government, public works. This does not include enterprise funds because it's just the general fund. So this would be, highway primarily. Debt service.
And so if I want to look at my tax bill, I have to put some number in that's required,
Well, you-
that identifies
Your
my
tax
tax
bill.
bill?
Well, it's not your tax bill, it's just a number.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's not linked to anyone's tax bill itself.
It's just a
It's just a
generality.
general
Oh, okay.
number,
General breakdown.
yeah, general breakdown based on.
Yeah, if you took your fiscal year's tax bill at the end, say whatever it
Well, I
is.
think you told us your goal is eventually that we can put in our number and actually see, this is.
You can put in your number.
Oh, you
Yeah, yeah,
can.
not your
Okay.
tax bill number.
Not your
No,
address.
no.
Your
But if I
dollar.
know I pay
Oh, I see.
$10,000 in
So you
taxes,
put in,
I can put in
I
that.
put in 6 grand. and
Yeah, yeah, so
this
I
thing
put in,
breaks out
so
and
I put in
Then it-
5276.
Then it goes through the calculus.
I could put in, if your tax bill was $6,000, you could put in
Then it would break
6,000.
it out
And it would
by
break it
the
out for you
percentage.
individually.
No, okay.
It just takes a percentage of it and just
Yep.
throws it out.
For this purpose, I just use
for
the
the most
average,
part.
so you can see. And then what you can
Yeah.
do, which is pretty good, is, so, okay, let's look at, employee benefits and other. What does that mean? And so it breaks it down. Okay, well, I actually paid $449 of my tax bill to health and life insurance. Retirement contributions. So each of those line items, you can continue to break it down further, when you hit view breakdown, so,
So a question on this,
Oh.
are you going to do any kind of prepping in terms of letting people know how to use this thing?
we'll do like a video once we post a link.
video,
You know, a
good,
video, hey, a quick tutorial
Yeah,
video.
okay, good, yeah.
Pretty intuitive, though, because we have talked to previous people about this, and it's a very good idea.
Yeah, and so, right, this is, I hit health insurance, it doesn't break
You
down
don't
any
have to know
further.
about financial
No,
stuff to do.
Yeah, it sits on the website,
Yeah, it
so
sits-
anybody can play around with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's,
Yeah, I mean, you can literally
I
put
mean,
it
the
in whenever
calculus
you
is
want.
already there anyway, you don't have to, it's no factoring you have to do, it's just.
yeah, so, I mean, like, if your tax bill were $7,500 per year,
go right
you put in
through the-
7,500, show my contributions, and then it obviously increases it.
Yeah, automatically.
And then, so you can hit education, and it'll break down by Dartmouth Public Schools, by our, vocational and Bristol Aggie Regional
good.
Schools. And then if you wanted to dig in more, you can see, right, most of it goes to personal services, and then personal, professional, technical, but you get the point.
So if you put in the entire budget as the amount, would you get the department budget in Munis?
You will not get the
Sorry.
detailed breakdown.
I just thought 113 million and I'm paying.
Yeah, you won't get the
Sorry.
detailed breakdown, but you can get to the level, so if I go to like general government, for instance, because that's gonna be where there's the most granular level, or we could even say culture and recreation. That's gonna show you, right, library, and then you can break down library budget into a little more detail, right? So
Yeah,
personal
gotcha.
services, supplies,
So what do you think would
And
be a
then-
good screen grab for the FinCom letter?
let us think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us think about that. But
So what-
Deidre, so this gets down, it doesn't show in like a munis report, but this essentially is, because if you
Yeah,
take the
exactly.
library department's budget by line item, it's library book and materials, it's office supplies,
Yeah.
and so you can actually see what.
Very nice.
Maybe more than a screen grab, maybe a link when we get to that point. A link, because,
Or a,
I mean, there's a, we just
QR
seen,
code?
I mean, you just saw like a whole bunch of different
No,
variables. I
but
mean-
our letter is printed and a link is useless.
So,
It's
how
good in
about-
an electronic doc or a QR
Yeah,
code.
I mean, I think the benefit of this,
QR coding,
this, is less about transparency and it's more about education, because I think right now, people are getting their questions answered on Dartmouth Helping Dartmouth.
Oh, that's a
Out of
good
the
source.
goodness- out of the goodness of somebody's heart who knows, who says, well, this is what you can do, this is who you can call. The new website plus this, I think, is gonna give people more control over the answers to the questions that they
Hopefully.
have. You know, I don't think anybody's been hiding anything, but
That's
the
great.
length of time that it takes to learn how these things work, and we all know just from being on this committee, that it takes a long time. So this gives people a chance to really get the information that they're looking for more
I have
quickly.
I have another question. What else does Clear Government do? Do you have, is this like an app, or what does it do?
They do a lot. I mean, we're
I know,
only
it's
starting,
like a-
yeah,
yeah.
we're starting with the budget portal.
Yep.
And then next year, we're gonna build the budget in this. So there'll be a budget document. We're actually gonna submit it for an award, hopefully next year.
Awesome.
And then there'll be a comprehensive budget document within this. And then there's other things we've looked at. There's a capital planning module that they utilize. So this is
Yeah,
step one, get this
I've
built
heard
out.
of it, I've heard of it.
But, yeah, it's a really powerful tool, and Massachusetts is really unique. So there's challenges when software companies come in to work with municipalities in Massachusetts. It's not plug and play like it is most of the country. You need to have a system that can work for Massachusetts. ClearGov works for Massachusetts. They're doing it in like 100 other communities. So they're a platform that we'd likely stick with because we know it's gonna work. It directly links with Munis, our financial system.
Okay.
So it's the data, it's the real data, you know, we're not having to upload all these
So
things.
you could say it's the program, but I give credit to you both and to the select board for being open-minded enough to give it a try and put it out there, because people on the finance committee have asked about this for a very long time.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, I think.
It is.
Yeah, so I mean, it's
Great
a
tool.
pretty powerful tool. We're still kind of fine tuning some of the data, not the data, but how we want to display the data. But like, this is the revenue side, so this is 25. It breaks down the revenue by each, and then you can do the same level of detail. This obviously isn't a tax bill because it's revenue, but it'll show you per capita per year, right? So per capita, how much we brought in taxes and so on and so
Yeah,
forth.
maybe we show a few of them,
Very nice.
you know,
Nice.
maybe a few
Beautiful.
slides.
Can you demo it at town meeting? Can we do a demo at town meeting for the group?
Maybe at a select board meeting.
Yeah, I'm probably not
Okay.
town
It's
meeting,
gonna
just
be
want
a
to be
pre-town.
cognizant of
We'll
everyone's
do
time,
everything. Okay.
but a select board meeting definitely.
Pre-town meeting too, maybe.
We have a lot in that though, too. I'm trying to be cognizant of
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
time.
Did we talk about a pre-town meeting for town meeting members at one particular point?
Maybe-
Yes,
And
we
then
are
we can-
doing
yeah,
that, so if the
could we
finance
do
committee is
that there?
available on May 27th at 6 PM.
I'll be there.
Yeah, it's obviously not a requirement, but I think the more of you that are
Yeah,
able to
sure,
attend, it's good.
absolutely.
7th?
Yeah, 27th, 6 PM at, I believe, the high school, but we're confirming the location.
It's so awesome that you're doing this.
Yes.
May 27th.
Does somebody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I will make that motion.
We have a second.
A second.
All in favor?
I love
Okay,
it. Thank
here's the
you.
gavel there. Good.
Great job.